How are you
Well,
today?
I'm doing real good. How about yourself? Welcome to Gangster Ghost Radio, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
I copied your name, Gangster Ghost. I put a Zealots Den radio stream up the other day.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I copied your idea.
Oh, thank you. I got it from this other guy named Brett Keene.
Oh yeah.
So
Hey,
yeah.
I went on Terry's stream last night. I missed you,
Who streamed? Terry?
Terry Strange.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm making the rounds on
Is
YouTube,
she?
man.
Oh, thanks. Is she strange?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Gangster, I just got out of church, man.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, literally. Like I'm just walking in the door. It
Oh,
was beautiful, man.
oh, that's good. Yeah, I've been all kinds of churches. I've been Catholic. Been to Catholic churches. I've been to Baptist churches. I've been to non-denominational churches. It's all kinds of churches. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Church?
What do you
Did you
say?
go to your friend's non-denominational church?
Uh,
You just
uh,
do that sometimes?
not today.
Yeah, you do that sometimes.
I, the other day I got it mixed up. It was Christmas Eve when I went with my brother to the church.
Oh, it was good though. You had
Yeah, yeah, they had candles there. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it was all crazy like. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, let's see. Oh, sorry about the thing keep on kicking you
the
out. Sorry
laptop
about that.
on, so I stopped leaving you. What's the stream about today?
Nothing much. Just open panel.
Yeah. Where's all our friends?
I don't know.
We hopped on early today. They weren't ready.
Yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah. What? Yeah, it was crazy last night. Go on here to we. Oh, the Proper Ministries. The many streams. Many streams. Oh, they're having a show tonight. Show 30. Yeah. Then the first they're having the Harvest Word of God. And what is the Christian lifestyle? And the 11th they're having a show. Gory cast. And then Bible bites if the foundations be destroyed. Oh, they're having all kinds of shows. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, guess who's back? Back
Okay.
again. Guess who's back? Hello, friend.
Yeah, I'm on my
Hi.
laptop. I'll stop getting kicked out now. What do we look?
Oh, that's. Oh, I show you that. Power guys are having shows. The Gory
Yeah.
show, Gory cast, and tonight I think they're having. I, I think they're having. Uh, having. Uh, one with. Uh, uh, Dan, I think. Yeah, that's it.
Dan who?
Dan. Dan
Oh, he's
Powell.
going. I thought he was part of the show.
Yeah, he is. He's having a show tonight. A special show called Designer Talk. Open
Oh,
mic.
I'll have to hop on there.
Well, I have a question. Uh, uh, do most Catholics believe in evolution?
No.
Oh, because I always hear people try to say that most Catholics believe in evolution?
No, evolution doesn't go with Catholicism.
Oh, because I heard they try to say that the Pope once said evolution's not just a theory. Is that true?
No, that's not true. So us Catholics believe that God created Adam and Eve, and then we all come from them. We don't believe we come from
Oh,
monkeys.
oh, okay. Yeah, because I always hear atheists try to say that. What do you think?
Yeah, they lie about us
Is that
Catholics
crazy?
a lot, Gangster Ghosts. So thanks for asking to find out the real answer.
You're welcome. I have a friend who's Catholic too. I've been to his
Uh-huh.
church. That's the church I told you about that had a LGBT flag.
Uh-oh.
Is that peace on it?
Yeah, no, that's a Catholic church that's in error.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been to other ones too, but doesn't have flags like that.
Yeah,
Like
they shouldn't.
one,
I want to know what church that is. I want to go complain, Gangster Ghosts.
it's in Michigan. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, no problem. You can email me the name if you ever remember. I'm going to call them and say, "What? Take that flag down."
Oh, here's one I went to before. Was by me. Called in Conception. I kept pronouncing in something Conception.
Yep. That's the name of a few of them. The Immaculate Conception.
What
Is
is?
it the Immaculate
Yeah,
Conception?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Well, I'm going to check that one out. Thanks for the info, Gangster Ghost.
Yeah, this one's a different one than that. That's not. The
Oh,
same one.
that's not the Pride Flag Church.
No, they're step opposite on there. But the one now I remember the one, the Pride Flag one. Saint Blaze. I think
Saying
that's
what?
it. Blaze.
Like BLAZE? Oh no, yeah, I see
Yeah,
it.
it's Saint Blaze. That's one I think
Yeah,
it is.
thanks for the info, Gangster Ghost. I'll fix that for you, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. Oh, they got 4.2 reviews too. That's surprising.
They're in
You don't have to say. I found it. You don't have to say the city.
okay. Yeah, here's. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I can tell, but yeah, I can tell. I'll have to figure something out about that. They have girl altar servers. The priest looks like he'd
Oh,
be okay with the LGBT flag up. So yeah, that's not good at all.
oh, that's crazy. You ever? Yeah, I've been to all kinds of Catholic churches. I've been in all kinds of churches here. So I've never been to an Orthodox.
Oh yeah, well don't let
Um,
Daniel or Jess hear that. They're gonna ask you to go to one.
yeah, I told Sandman this, and he said he heard this from other people. I don't see much Orthodox churches.
Yeah, so I try to tell the Orthodox people, even as a Catholic, and we're so similar. A lot of Americans don't know that they even are a church.
Yeah,
Which if they're trying to get people to go to their church, the first step would to let people know that they exist. You know.
yeah, Catholic church. I find they're around.
Oh, they're on every street corner, aren't they?
Yeah, almost. There's one by me, one where I used to live, one everywhere.
Yeah, they'll have like 2 or 3 in every town. I love it. But it's good because you have a lot of options, Gangster Ghost. But the only problem is when they get so many, it's hard to watch every individual one, and then you have some of them that hang up pride flags and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've also been to ones that I've been all kinds of ones. I've been to non-dimensionals. The one I've been to for Christmas Eve
Yep.
church, it's a non-dimensional. They had something I only seen in a Catholic church before. Candles.
They had candles or didn't have candles?
They have.
Oh yeah, so on the Christmas Eve service, and you all lit one and you sang together and stuff. Yeah, that's common in the non-denominational church. So we do that at Easter. We do that. When we do that at Easter. I did that last year.
Yeah, that's where I've seen it before on in Catholic.
Oh, I thought you said they do it
Right.
and we don't. You did see it at a Catholic church.
Yeah, and Easter.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah, it was
nice.
crazy.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool that you like all three, though, huh?
yeah,
Gangster Ghost, like, I don't want any problems with anyone. I like you all.
oh, yeah. Oh, I want to ask you, you ever been to what if they had a Catholic mega church? Would that be
Well,
crazy?
technically we do. So, like in the Vatican, where the Pope does his masses, that's like a mega church.
Oh, guys, I heard a lot of people don't like this Pope. What do you think?
I think that's accurate. A lot of people don't. Not Catholics, but a lot of people don't. He he's not as traditional, or there's a few. Yeah, that's accurate. I'd say Gangster Ghost.
Yeah, do Catholics? I heard a lot of Catholics don't like him. Is that true?
That is true. They're poorly catechized Catholics though, because he is the Pope, and just like if we said something that was misunderstood or something, we'd hope people would give us a little charity and love. I think people are a little hard on him. So, for example, when I came back, I found out all this stuff like you were saying. Everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's a bad Pope," and this guy said that. So I would look into it, and I would start to think like, "Oh, what is he doing?" But if you actually look into it with a good heart and in good faith, it's not what people say. And another thing that they forget is while he is the Pope, like what he said, what he goes around saying isn't exactly like he isn't speaking on behalf of the whole Catholic Church. So like if he's doing an interview or something, that's just the Pope speaking his thoughts. It's not like necessarily Catholic doctrine, if that makes sense.
Oh.
So yeah, so that part gets a little confusing. Like if he's not doing a mass, or if he's not specifically like, "Oh, I'm saying this on behalf of," and another thing, just one thing, that the only area where the Pope has say where what he says matters is if he's talking about faith or morals. So if he talks about faith or morals, then that's for the Catholic Church. But if he's just talking regularly, so it's only on faith and morals where we listen to him.
Oh. I I got the same jig where it's like a link where you can if you want you can stream it on your channel too.
Where?
I'll put it in the private.
Oh, nice. Let me try it out. You get the most viewers though, Gangster Ghost. Everyone loves your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Do you ever go on anyone else's
Yeah,
channel, like Terry or Daniels, or?
Daniel's. I've been on there. The first time I met Daniel, it was on his channel. He was talking to the power guys. They linked me to the video. I went to go see it, and I went on there and talked to him and stuff. And I even invited him to my channel, and that's when when everything got started. Yeah, it's
Did he
crazy.
come?
I've been on there. I've been
Did
power
Did he come
guys.
on?
Yeah, he came on, and yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, who's here? There's two of you.
Yep, the Double Zealots crew.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was crazy. Sandman talking to Achilles. It was
I
crazy.
still haven't saw that. What was crazy about it?
It wasn't crazy, but it was awesome. I just wanted those two to talk. It was so awesome.
Yeah, they finally did, huh?
Yeah, it was great. I want to ask you, have you ever seen? This is weird. when I've been to my friend's place, uh, we one of the first time I went to go to his church, uh, we watched this movie called. You ever heard of it? Like I think no, Lights Out. I forgot what it's called. It's uh about this genre of like this newspaper that exposed a lot of stuff happened at the Catholic Church.
It's a movie.
Yeah, I forgot what's called. It was crazy. Explodes. I forgot, but it was weird. I watched that before we went to go to a Catholic church. It was crazy. It was crazy before. I've been all kinds of churches, but I ask, would you ever debate Tim?
Who's Tim?
You know the guy on here. He gets he gets in debates with uh Daniel a lot.
Oh, probably not. I'm not like an apologist per se, and I don't particularly debate. I would talk about the Bible, but as far as the debate, I'm not. That's not my alley. I'm like you,
But
gangster. I'm all about spreading the love. I'm not trying to argue with people,
oh, that's good. Oh, have you ever? Uh, I forgot what it's called. That's gonna drive me crazy. What was the name of that movie? It was a weird, it's a crazy movie back. It exposes what happened to these kids from the Catholic Church.
You watch a lot of Catholic Church stuff. I noticed, gangster.
Oh yeah, I seen all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
You ever seen the movie The Nun,
I have.
the horror
Yeah,
movie
there's
one?
like three of them, isn't there? The Nun 2. I did see all that. Did
Uh,
you see that? What'd you think
yeah,
about it? Was it scary?
it was great. Yeah, it was a great movie. It's part of the Conjuring
Yeah, I saw those
universe.
too. Did you see those?
Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed them. I thought they
yeah,
were pretty good. Did
but
you?
yeah,
What did you think about that
well,
demon who was in the nun's outfit?
yeah, it was scary. It kind of looked like Marilyn Manson.
It did a little bit, huh?
Yeah,
You remember Marilyn Manson?
uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember him.
uh, yeah, it was scary. But the word Catholic does that anything to do with cats?
Does the Catholics have anything to do with cats?
Yeah, because I have cat and
No.
Catholic. Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard was second century where they found the name. The what's his name? Saint something. Thought up the name cat. A Catholic.
Yeah.
Is that
Check
right?
you out, gangster. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But how long you been on YouTube?
Oh, well, technically over a year, but I started the Zealots Den and actually doing YouTube. I don't know, maybe 6 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah, not that long.
yeah.
How about you?
Uh, Probably since 2020, I think.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. Oh, gosh. How long you knew
Dan,
Dan?
I've known Dan for like a week now, maybe 2 weeks. I just
Oh,
met him the other day.
wow. I mean, not Dan Posey, Daniel.
Orthodox
Uh,
Dan, right? Yeah, I met
yeah.
him like a week or two ago. I was scrolling through.
Wow,
I was
that's
scrolling through YouTube and I saw him live, and I clicked on it, and he's talking about Orthodox Church, and I hopped on his live, and I said, "What do you guys think about the Catholics?" And that's how we started talking.
uh, yeah. Is it true? Hers. You ever heard of Vatican One Catholics?
I haven't heard of Vatican I Catholics, but I think I know what you mean. The people who aren't big fans of Vatican II and try to worship how they did before.
Yeah. I heard about this one
I'm
guy.
kind of
I
one of
seen.
those gangster.
Oh, you're kind of one of those.
Kind of.
Oh. Here's one guy I met before on the internet. He's Vatican one. He doesn't consider Vatican two Catholic for
He
some
doesn't
reason.
what?
Consider Vatican two as
Yeah,
Catholic for
so
some reason.
those are like the Orthodox. Those are called schismatics. Yeah, because
Oh,
you can't reject the Vatican II because that's rejecting the Catholic Church.
oh. What if they had a Vatican three?
Oh, hopefully they will.
Yeah, the Revenge of the Pope.
Yeah, yeah. That was like Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
The Revenge of the Pope. Tell Daniel that one. He'll think that's a funny joke.
yeah, yeah. He's a crazy
Hey, I'm
guy.
gonna steal that
Uh,
joke, gangster.
okay.
What if they have a Vatican III? The Revenge of the Pope. That's funny. Like he's Darth Sidious, right? That Emperor
Yeah,
Palpatine.
yeah. Guys. Uh, what would you do if the Catholic Church combined with like all three Protestant, Catholic, and Orthodox all combined into one?
So that's what we're hoping for. But if you mean combine into one, that they all become Catholics, yes, that's what that's what I'm hoping for, gangster.
What if they just become just oh, oh just become just Christian?
Well, we all
What
are.
do you think? Yeah,
So the only difference is in
I mean,
what we believe. So some
yeah,
of
I
us would
know,
have
but
to change what we believe a little bit.
I mean, what if they combined into one, like all that's into one, called just the Christian Church, not any certain type of. What do you think?
I think that would be a big problem. That's where the that'd be universalism, which is what everyone's trying to avoid.
Oh, okay. Guys, I seen this video by I found on the internet. It had the Pope there talk about these Buddhists, Muslims, like trying to unite them. I heard. Is that true?
No, that was misunderstood. He was trying to say
Yeah,
something
because
along the lines of like if someone's practicing Islam or Buddhism or any type of thing where they're seeking the truth, then they should eventually end up in the Catholic Church.
oh,
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're
that's
seeking truth, you will end up here. Like all roads and all everyone who's looking for the truth will end up at the Catholic Church. That was kind of the gist of it.
that's what my friend said. He said he's trying to convert them.
Revert or convert?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
convert.
should. What is he now?
No, I mean the Pope is trying to convert the other guys.
Yeah, yeah. We want everyone to be Catholic, gangster, even you.
Oh, thank you. My friend, he's already Catholic. I asked him about that. He said that the Pope is just trying to convert the other guys to be Catholic.
Yeah, we want everyone to be like us.
Oh,
I'm not a bad guy, right, gangster?
yeah, you're a
Yeah,
good guy.
thanks, thanks. Goes to show there are good Catholics out there.
Yeah, yeah. What can I say? Yeah. Is there there's what type of is there Catholics that are what am I I know Roman Catholic, but is there any other type of
Oh yeah,
Catholics besides Rome?
there's a few different types of rites. They have the Eastern rite, the Byzantine rite, the Oriental rite. There's a few different.
This is what Claude said. This is what I heard a lot.
They're all Catholic though.
Oh, but yeah, this is what I always hear people say. Uh, David, he said that Catholic Church accepts evolution as a fact.
Yep.
Know what he said?
Yeah, that's not true. Go next time you run into him. Say David the Zealot said you're lying.
Oh, he's in the comments.
Oh, Claude. Claude, we don't accept evolution as Catholics. Not only do we not, Gigi, you can't.
Oh,
Because where does
yeah.
evolution fit in with from Adam and Eve to us? You know, did they go from human Adam and Eve's and evolved into monkeys, and then they re-evolved into us?
Oh,
Yeah, no, we believe we came from humans as Catholics. We believe God made a man, and then out of his ribs, he made a woman, and then they had kids, and then they all had kids.
oh. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I always stuff like what Claude says. I always hear people say that. What Claude
Yeah, well,
says.
good thing you're checking your sources. You know, you don't just accept it. You go ask someone else. That's smart.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Yeah, because as you probably know, people say some crazy stuff sometimes.
Oh, Azel said his family's Catholic, and most are. He said most Catholic accepts evolution. Most of my family are Catholic, so I would know. That's what he said.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that Azo has some Catholics in his family. He should join the family faith.
Yeah,
But he
I
asks
found my
he
great.
also asks if we come from dirt, why is there still dirt? Um, so he should think about that. And but
I
also,
found my
so we
great grand.
say from ashes to ashes, from dust to dust. So we made from
Oh,
dust, and then we turn into dust.
I found my grandfather was
Your
Catholic.
grandfather was Catholic. What about
Yeah,
your grandmother?
I don't know. Uh, I don't think so.
No.
Uh, uh they yeah, it was great. The Pope is infallible. He said Catholics believe the Pope is infallible. Is
That
that
is
true?
not true.
Oh, okay. Pope accepts evolution so far. It's a fact. What crazy Claude
Is
says.
that his name, Crazy Claude?
His name is Claude Balls.
That's funny.
Yeah. Thus, if you don't use it, it will rust. He said that ash to ashes, dust to dust. If you don't use it, it will
See, he
rust.
knows. He knows. He must have learned that from his Catholic family.
That was funny.
You having a good day today,
Oh,
gangster?
yeah. Are
Oh
you?
yeah, really good. Really good. I have a coffee being
Uh,
delivered to me by my sister right now. I already did my church.
oh, that's good.
I got an interview with a priest tomorrow on my channel, and I got some reading to do. I got some books for Christmas. I got to read.
Oh, only priest I know is an Orthodox priest. Father
Yeah,
Charles.
is he a nice gentleman?
Yeah, he's a good guy. It's funny. A lot of people keep us thinking he's Catholic. Even when he told me he's not Catholic, they end up reverting back to thinking he's Catholic.
Ah,
uh, like Lupin, when he first met, talked to Lupin, he said he's not a Catholic priest; he's an Orthodox. And after later on, he said, "Yeah, you are the Catholic." That's brave of you, priest, being part of the Catholic
yeah,
Church to disagree with the Pope. So he said he's not
he's
Catholic.
funny. That's funny. How do you know this guy?
Uh, on here, I knew him through Stephen Bolin, and then I talked to those
What's he
guys.
on YouTube or
It was
from? Is he like a Michigan priest?
uh YouTube. He lives in
He's on
Pennsylvania.
YouTube though.
Actually, yeah. He's been busy lately. Haven't been on, but yeah. He's in the same state as Daniel.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's not too far from me either. Only like 6 hours.
Oh, yeah. Claude, I think he probably grew up Catholic too. He's from France.
There's a lot of Catholics, huh?
Yeah, but I think he's an ex-Catholic. He's I think an atheist now
Well,
or
let me
something.
ask you, gangster. Out of all the people you know, who would you say which church would you say has the the most of? Yeah,
Catholics.
me
Oh,
too.
is
Me
that true?
too.
Oh, yeah. I've been Catholic church. I've been all kinds of church. Uh, is it true? Is uh, Church of England not too different from the Catholic Church?
So you could say it's not too different as far as Protestants go. Anglican's probably the closest. I believe you mean the Anglican Church, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Church of England. Yeah, they as far as Protestants go, they maintain the most of how we practice our faith. There's actually a friend of mine. Her husband became Catholic. He was an Anglican, and he talks about how very similar it is. They have like the same baptism, faith formation, and confirmation that Catholics do. They don't believe that Jesus is in the Eucharist, though. A lot of people don't believe that.
What about Lutheran?
Uh, I don't
Lutheran.
believe I know him. I've talked with him.
I mean,
I've seen him somewhere, but I can't recall him.
the Lutheran Church.
Oh, the Lutheran. So they're a step below the Anglicans. They're on the upper end of Protestants as far as close to Catholics. But from my understanding, they differ. So there's some that are like Catholics, but then there's some who are a little more like non-denominational.
Oh,
But to be fair, like you said, there's some not the best practicing Catholic churches too. Because if there's a Catholic church with the pride flag, that's incorrect. So just to be fair,
well, would you ever? How long you been Catholic?
So I was born and raised Catholic, and I did that till I was about 17, and then I stopped for about a little like 12 years, and now I've been back for like 5 years. So like 21 years overall, but my whole life I've been practicing 21 years.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, there was like a decade where I would tell people I was Catholic, but I hadn't gone to church in like a long, long time. And I think that's popular for a lot of Catholics because they're like raised Catholic and then they stop going. But if they're ever asked, they will answer that they are Catholic.
Oh, have you been baptized?
Yeah, I was baptized when I was a baby.
Oh.
And then, so when I some non-denominational Baptist lady that I knew growing up, I went to her church for a few months, and she was trying to tell me I needed to be rebaptized. That would have been crazy, huh, gangster?
Yeah. Why that?
Well, we don't believe in two baptisms. Once you do it, you do it. But that was a funny conversation because she'd be like, "Well, you need to get baptized if you love God." And then I was like, "But I have been baptized." And she's like, "But you don't remember, so you got to do it again." And I just remember asking her, I'm like, "But I already was baptized, so why do I need to baptize again?" And she didn't really have an answer. She's just like, "Cause you need to."
Well, you tell Bruce that you were baptized as a baby, he get.
Oh
angry.
yeah, bro. Bruce knows. Bruce knows because I'm a Catholic. Bruce went to the same church as me growing up, gangster. Yeah. Well, not the same exact church, but he was a Catholic too.
Yeah, he doesn't like the idea of baptizing babies.
Oh, I know. He's a character. He's a character, Bruce.
Yes, he is. The first we just met him, he went after fire charges over baby baptism. Yep. It was crazy. He always obsessed.
Oh, he's still going at it about baby baptism with people.
Yeah, I decided to do a joke where I I did ask you before. What if you woke up? What if you had a dream where you're being baptized as a baby, and you wake up? Don't baptize me. It was funny. And also, I did made a picture where I put his face on a baby's body being baptized by Father Charles.
I love it. Was that one of your thumbnails?
That's a for an old video. Father Charles versus.
Oh, you got it. Where can
I
I find that, gangster?
On my channel? Go to search, put Father Charles versus.
Okay,
Bruce.
I gotta go watch that later. That sounds funny. I just want to see the picture.
That's the thumbnail.
Yeah. You got him good there, huh? That was funny, gangster. Did he think it was funny? Good.
Yeah, and
you gotta have a sense of humor,
so
right?
Yeah, he did, and his friend Stump. I also seen her in there a lot. He thought it was funny.
No, because it is. That's funny. That's objectively, you got him good there. So I like doing that too. I love putting people's faces or even my face on like different pictures, and that's how I do my thumbnails because I'm not that good at it. So it's nice and easy to do, you know.
Yeah. Say yeah, it was funny and so. You ever pray with the rosary?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, when I went to a Catholic church once, they gave me a.
Yeah, do you still have it?
Yeah.
Good. Because it's bad luck to throw it away.
Yeah, I still have.
Yeah, I usually carry mine around with me whenever I can. Who's Lupin? What's that? What's Lupin's story?
A lot of people don't like.
Oh, that's not nice.
It have a lot to do with.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Terry.
I like your hat.
Thank you. I should have bought it, huh? I was trying it on in a haberdashery. Oh my god.
How was church?
I haven't gone yet. I'm actually probably going to be late.
Oh yeah, you're in Oregon. That's right.
Yeah, I'm it starts at I'm not going to be there on time for the early service, but I can
there?
Huh?
Is chat there yet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not. I'm still at home.
Imagine if he shows up and you didn't make the early service, Terry.
Oh, well, I'll be there's early service starts at 10:15. That's the traditional, and then our worship service starts at 11. So I'll be there by then. It's just been a rough morning.
Oh.
Well, yeah. What if he does show up and I'm not there? I'll feel bad. I'll get there way before 11. But I probably will be late to the early service.
Oh well, I hope your day gets better.
It's okay. It's just poor. Well, I slept in really, and
you were up late last night.
I wasn't up too late though. I just, I got to get my rest where I can. But
your beauty sleep.
I wanted to. What? Yeah, exactly. It's it's harder to come by, and when you're working full time,
Amen.
Living out here trying to do what's right, it takes a toll on the skin. So
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I wanted to respond to the what were you saying? It was about the Baptist girl trying to get you baptized again.
Yeah.
I can explain why I don't think she maybe understood exactly, but according to like Baptist theology, a baptism isn't valid unless it's you have to be a believer before you're baptized.
Yes, that's right.
Believe in that. Otherwise, it's not valid. I don't really have a strong opinion about it one way or the other. I mean, I was a believer when I was baptized, but
were you baptized before as well, or
no, I wasn't.
Yeah, so that would make more. So if I hadn't been, I would have jumped right in that pool.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
The one thing that was weird though, because she would always tell me that like I have the Holy Spirit in me and God's working through me and stuff, and I'm like, but what about that baptism?
What if you got baptized by fire?
Oh, well, I think me and Terry are getting baptized by fire every day.
That's true.
Amen.
I'm going through the fire so that I may be purified, testified.
Were you ever baptized, gangster?
I don't know.
What?
So maybe he was like me. He don't remember.
Yeah.
Gangster goes to church a lot, Terry. He goes to all different churches.
But you haven't been baptized?
Maybe, I don't know.
You have to ask your parents.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about it, Gangster Ghost? Don't you think it's important?
Yeah.
You're putting him on the spot, Terry. You're putting him on the spot.
Well, guys, you ever had JWs come to your house?
Oh, yeah.
Not really, no.
Oh, yeah, I have.
I've
talked to
known
them.
some JWs. They Bible thump like a mug.
What about Mormons from Planet Marmia?
I've ran into them at my supermarket parking lot. They just roam the parking lot asking people if they want to come to church with them, which I respect. Luckily, I was a Catholic and I was able to say I'd go to another church, or it'd be awkward. Like if you don't go to church and they walk up to you, well, because I love God, so I'd be like, no, I do kind of got to go to church.
What if what do you do if a Muslim asks you to go to their mosque?
What do I do if a Muslim asks me to go to their mosque? I actually enjoy talking to Muslims about religion, because I found out a good amount about Islam, and it's actually quite easy to defeat once you know about it. So I would expect, because did you know Muslims believe in Jesus Christ, and Muslims believe Jesus is going to be the judge on Judgment Day. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't believe he's God. Obviously, they don't even believe that he was crucified, but they believe he was a prophet and he's going to be the judge on Judgment Day, which is fascinating, right? And so their Quran actually affirms the Torah and the Bible. So their Bible says that God sent us our Bible, and if we follow our Bible, we're good. So they can't even tell me to go to their church because I'm like, your Bible says that I'm doing what God told me to do.
You know the Quran says the Bible's true and cannot be corrupted.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. The only problem is the Muslims nowadays, they argue that it has been corrupted, which is a whole argument in and of itself. Because like you said, it couldn't be. So how, if it had been, then your book's lying. So now we're both in trouble, Muslim man.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be wearing all that stuff on my head.
Some of them do the whole body get up.
Yeah, especially that. It's going to be so uncomfortable to get around.
Yeah. And then what if you want to go to like the beach or something? Then you're in big trouble. You've drowned in that thing.
I guess I could get a burkini.
A burkini. Terry. I'm going to tell my sister. She'll think that's funny.
Yeah, it was crazy. What do you think that guy was on Daniel's show last night?
That was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, that guy's part of a racist hate group.
Well, that seems to be the conclusion. But from my understanding, I didn't join in because they're no different than like a lot of just Bible believing. It's you can't really debate them because what they think, how they interpret it is true, and how you don't isn't, and you think the same thing. So you're really just butting heads the whole time. No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means.
Yeah, they're crazy group. But good Christian woman covers their head too. No, but
Catholic. Cloud is right. Catholic women. A good majority of them veil.
There's a difference between like just putting a scarf on top of it for a moment and then like having to do that all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Quite a big difference. But yeah, they do when they're praying or in church. Catholic women do, but yeah, not nothing to the severity of that the Muslim women have to.
Oh.
I'd be seeing them in the street, like in this. Oh, we're walking around the streets of Boston, like in the summer, like full hijabbed up. Yeah, as you said, that's got to be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, and Boston is so humid. How do they deal with
Yeah,
that?
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Wabash under there.
Oh. Jen said, "When is Judgment Day?"
Welcome, Jen. We don't know when Judgment Day is.
He's in the comments.
Jen's is a guy?
I think so.
Okay. Well, my sister's name's Jenna, so I assumed it was a girl. But yeah, no, that would make sense if he's like Swedish or Finland or something.
Yeah. His last name is Anderson, so he's the brother of Steve.
I'm an Anderson too, but I'm SON at the end.
Oh. Claude, you're still a what? Lupin.
You tell him to go to bed. Hey, we got the wolf den. I told you there was the wolf den in here.
Hey, what up, Lupin?
He's in the comments.
Dang.
He said this about Claude. Claude, you are still
Claude Van Damme.
That's so funny. Claude was talking mess, and then Lupin showed up to put it right. Now they're gonna beef.
Lupus, they were calling you the town drunk.
Yeah,
like they're not drunks too.
If that's not the pot calling the kettle black.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
So yeah, you got to go get believer baptized, gangster. Wait till Wayne finds out you haven't been baptized.
Bruce.
Yeah,
Wayne?
Bruce Wayne. That can't be his real name?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's got to be his stage name because that's Batman's name.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a crazy guy. Do you think he ever been baptized by snow?
Ooh. You know, gangster, that's a funny question because snow's just cold water, right?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I definitely have.
Lord.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes, how are you all?
Howdy doody.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
If
yes. Terry, you're making my heart go old.
She has that effect on a lot of people.
With my rudimentary French. Oh.
Just your very presence on the panel has my art. I have to take my medication to keep calm.
Well, I'm glad that I keep you taking your medication so that you'll live longer.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I could, any time my heart could explode.
Out of pure joy from talking with Terry, right?
With love and passion. Yeah. Yeah. So, you do know that various women in the Muslim, not everybody has the full head thing.
Yeah.
Some have a symbolic
I'm being
scarf.
ignorant for fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Do you happen to know, Claude? I know there is a distinction. Is that strictly Shia and Sunni, or is there little sects in between that have different rules?
I think there's all
different
kinds. Yes, it's a bit like some churches the women, very traditional, still wear a head covering.
Yeah.
Christian churches, and some don't, and some. So the whole every religion has its different. Some people are more like staunch, I think, than others.
Agreed. I'd agree with that. Yes.
But I do think that the Pope, who is infallible, I think you think the Pope is infallible.
He's not infallible.
Oh well, that's one of the Catholic doctrines that you disagree.
No, so I believe you might be misunderstanding. we wouldn't say the Pope's infallible. There can be moments where he would be on about faith and morals. But like when he's walking around in his day-to-day life, we don't consider him infallible. He's a man just like us.
Because he's the one that says evolution is true, so he's obviously right about that, which is good.
Oh, are you an evolutionist?
Of course.
Well, maybe you can help me because I don't see how those blend. But evolution, as in we come from monkeys, or am I character?
No, we don't come from monkeys. We have common ancestors. This is the thing. People that criticize evolution don't understand it. They often didn't get beyond, a basic science understanding at school. So what the thing is, you really need to don't take notice of people like Hovind, etc., on what evolution is. Do your own research with serious scientists. And I think it all boils down to if people believe the Bible is 100% literally true, then they can't accept evolution. If they think the Bible has a lot of allegory, we call it, or metaphors, then yes. If people think that the Earth is really 6,000 years old, well, they can't believe in evolution. But if they accept that it's billions, then yes, there's been a great deal of time. So I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. But for example, me, I don't believe it's 6,000 years old, and I also don't believe in evolution.
Right.
But as you said, I haven't properly been told. I am under the more basic understanding, as you said, like the basic high school and Darwinism and stuff. But yeah, no, I actually used to get hung up on the 6,000 until I found out how there's ways that it's not literally 6,000 years. So I am not a literalist. But how do they? Oh, so they would have to say Adam and Eve isn't like literal, because I just don't see how you come from Adam and Eve to evolution. That's my hold up.
Yeah, I don't really can't get into too much yet because it's not my. I'm not a great science person either, but but I have basic understanding. But no, I'm not a great science, so I can't explain everything. But if you look, for example, there's a guy called Francis Collins, and he's a Christian, a very strong Christian. And he was head of, I think, the health service in America at one stage. But he mapped the human genome. So he's a pretty intelligent sort of a guy. And he says that evolution and Christianity are both true. And it's worth reading.
His name again, sorry?
Francis, Francis Collins,
Okay,
Collins. Yeah, he's one that I've followed for quite a while. And sorry, Terry. So I'll let you speak. No. Well, the last thing I'll say about that is that he has you can find it on YouTube, and he explains why, because that he can't have been an intelligent designer. God can't have been an intelligent designer because he says it's not actually that intelligent, some of our design. So. And that's a good one, because a lot of real super Christian anti-evolutionists, they say, oh, well, this is proof of intelligent design. Well, no, it isn't. So anyway, your turn, Terry. Sorry.
I find that utterly offensive. But also, he was included, he was interviewed in the Alpha series. He's in one of the videos that we watched where they're talking about faith. I think I mentioned it last night. We did an alpha at my church. So yeah, we watch these videos and then talk about the different aspects of faith. But yeah, he's in one of the videos, and they interviewed doctors and scientists and judges and people of different standing who are authorities. So if they're Christians, then it's okay to be a Christian for those weirdos who think that you have to be educated to know things.
Yeah, well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean it in that way, but I think, you know, he is very much an expert on evolution and the genome and genetics. You know, when it comes to being an expert on religion or whatever, well, anybody can be because it's extremely subjective, and it's just a matter of what you believe. You know, and so you could know as much about religion as anybody. You know, I don't know much about it because I'm not religious anymore.
I don't really know
Yeah.
anything. I just be talking.
Now, what's this? I just be talking.
Oh, I'm imitating
It's a
black
funny
people.
thing to.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're really stylish.
really?
So Americans often, like white Americans, will adopt their mannerisms or like ways of speech for a thrill.
So,
Guess who's here?
what were
And it
you
just seems
saying
like
just
that.
now? What were you saying, Claude, about being an expert?
I'm not an expert in religion. Anybody can be because it's just a matter of belief. So I'm a less knowledgeable about religion probably than anybody else here because I don't, I'm not a religious person. But when it comes to science, I trust the scientists who have credentials, not just people like myself or anybody else in the panel who don't understand it in that same way.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's just my
can you?
view. And like when I want to go to have brain surgery, I go to a brain surgeon who's who's qualified in that area. When I want someone to fix a car, I go to a person who can
You
fix
know
a
what's
car.
ironic about all
And
that?
when I want to know about evolution, I go to that and not Kent
You know what's
Harvard.
ironic about all that?
I got
There,
an
Claude.
ironic part too, Dusty.
No, yep.
What?
I said I have an ironic part too. Go ahead.
But you can get second opinions in every one of those professions. Can you point to any two scientists that actually agree on every principle of evolution? Or is it just a wide consensus based
Well,
on a letter that was made by some scientist in a dark room somewhere?
I said, well, I don't think that scientists met in a dark room to make a letter. No.
Okay, well, you're insane then, because there's all kinds of secrecy around
That's
scientists.
okay. I'm very happy for you to call me insane. We've actually getting on quite well lately. We can have
Well,
discussions.
my ironic experience, to the science and the God was when coronavirus came to the world and the whole world was freaking out, and science came up with a vaccine in record time. I just had this gut feeling that my immune system that God gave us, that lasted us thousands of years, was better prepared to defend against than what the scientists created, and that turned out to be correct.
With the proper diet, with the right amount of exercise, and a good enough oxygenated blood, you can evade any virus.
But I would give
Come
thanks
on.
to the God's beautiful creation of the human.
Does everybody have smallpox, Claude?
Fortunately, not.
So
because
it
of the
must be
smallpox
possible.
vaccine
So it
virtually
must be.
eradicated.
Well,
it,
but
yes.
we still have smallpox in the world today. It's not really eradicated.
Very small. It used to kill millions of people. As
I actually do know.
We got all these weak people with weak immune systems running around and making weak babies.
Yep.
That's not helpful, Terry. That's not helpful, Terry.
I thought it was.
You're not helping me.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll forgive
Not
you.
helpful. No, I'm not putting you down. You're more than welcome to interject your thoughts and opinions, but that's not the direction I was going. Appreciate you though.
Okay. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, buddy.
How are
No,
you?
so I was going to take umbrage with something that Claude said.
Okay.
Dusty, did you turn on the fan?
I did.
Oh, it's on?
It's on. I turned it off so I could talk to my friends real quick.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. We forgive
I
you.
forgot my mic was on. Well, okay. So the thing about that is, I'm reticent to claim that any two actual experts really do agree on many more than 3 or 4 aspects of what evolution is. Okay. I mean, if you were to actually get these scientists to look each other in the eye and it comes down to who's getting the funding, they're going to do everything they can to prove the other person wrong.
Yeah,
I think you
there's
know
some
that, Claude.
truth there.
No, I don't. That doesn't mean anything. That's just a silly thing to say. You know,
What do you mean?
No two scientists would agree on aspects of everything. There were probably,
But he's
I don't
implying
know
for
the numbers.
reasons
You're
other
just
than the
plucking
truth,
that out
Claude.
of your.
But he's
your
implying for
wherever.
reasons other than the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Well, I'm not a
unwilling to
conspiracy
accept.
theorist. Yeah.
Oh, I see. But you only have to be an expert with the qualifications of being a believer. That makes sense. Oh man, you take the most uncharitable position every time, Claude.
Yeah,
don't
I think
understand
to
why.
be fair, what Dustin said, yeah, and what he's saying, like, because we don't just believe on blind faith, we do due diligence and look into what we believe, and then we find out it to be
Well,
true.
faith
Same with
is
science. You're not just told science is a thing. You look
do-
into it and you check out some scientific methods, and you're like, oh yeah, there's some accuracy here.
Do you admire faith?
Admire?
What
Yeah,
what does
do you
that
think
even
faith
mean?
is a good thing? Do you think faith is a good thing?
I think you waking up in the morning and expecting yourself not to be on the ceiling is a
No,
good
yeah,
thing.
no, I think,
Is
yeah, not
faith a
even
good
just in
thing?
God, but faith in general. Yes, like I have faith that my.
No, well, faith is belief without evidence, and that's just I don't think faith
Well,
is
I would argue
admirable
you
at
can't.
all. I think
How could you produce a society without that? Like I wake up with faith that anyone I'm living with isn't going to
Claude, you
do
have
harm me.
no firsthand.
but do you have
What's
evidence?
the
Yeah,
deal?
so
Is there
actually
a
I
fake
do.
French? Is there a fake
No, it's
French
not
toast that
Claude.
needs to be roasted here or what?
Oh, here we go.
Listen, the Count Drunk entered. Welcome, brother.
Well,
I'm kidding. I don't know you. I'm just kidding. I
I
trust
didn't,
you.
I didn't understand what you said in the first place. It don't matter.
Yeah. Welcome, brother.
So, go ahead, Dustin.
Are you part of the Wolf Den?
I am the wolf den.
Oh, you are the Wolf Den. All right, I saw the Wolf there. I'm the Zealots Den. Nice to meet you, fellow Den.
Hello. Lots of dens.
Yeah, we got a Lions Den too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I was on there.
I'm a Dustin.
You're a dust.
I thought you were a dustbin. That's what Missy might like to call you, dustbin.
Yeah, you got a point there. Anyway,
It's okay. We can't all be dens. We can get along though. Go ahead.
Anyway,
Oh,
so I was trying to finish a point,
Go ahead.
right? So the thing that's interesting about that, Claude, right, is when you have experts that are vying for the same funding, what does that do in nature? For example, when two organisms are competing for the same resource, you're telling me that that's completely illogical to imply one mode of thinking to another mode of thinking?
Applied to science, of course, there are sometimes competition for funding, but one of the big projects of recent years is the Genome Project, that got well funded, and they do a lot of research with it. And I can't see that the fact that some other groups might have been applying for funding, for example, for the Hadron Collider, that would cause any sort of issues as far as different scientists coming up with different results just to get funding. I think that doesn't really make sense. If you can
That's
prove
hilarious.
that's
You're
the
jumping.
case, then that's
You're
different.
you're
But if
jumping.
you've just
Yeah, what's your
plucked
point?
it from the conspiracy
Shut up,
theory,
dude. Wolf Den, please. I'm on to something here. Okay. No.
All right, good luck.
Now you're jumping. Now you're jumping from evolution straight over to the Hadron Collider. That's not the issue. How
Well,
many?
you're talking about
Can I finish what I'm
science.
saying? So how many rejected papers do you think there are out there simply because of a spelling font or, I mean, how many good theories go by the wayside because somebody doesn't like it?
None, because it wouldn't be a theory.
Okay,
Well,
man.
not only
You're-
that,
you're-
Dustin, but not only that, but yeah, ones that get
You
disproven.
don't know what a theory
Later.
is.
okay, dude, you are so unreasonable. There's no point in even having a conversation with you. You think you have the
Well,
answers.
that's okay.
You
It's no
think you have
problem.
the answers, and the reality is you are so far wrong. It's ridiculous, bro. I can't. There's no real talking to you, man. There isn't. There's no good faith.
Well,
You,
don't go on another show.
I mean,
then. I mean, I thought we were being civil.
I'm
to
being
each other,
civil.
And then you just go
This
with
is
this stupid
this is
nonsense.
this is as
No, you're
civil as
not.
it gets for me, buddy.
Okay, well,
For me, this is as civil as it gets.
good. Well, be civil and don't have the conversation with me because you just said it's not worthwhile. So
Yeah,
bye.
I am
That's
actually
good, no
going
problem.
to take
I'll
off.
talk
I
to
just
people who
wanted
can
to point out
Okay.
that your
Bye then.
position's
Great
unreasonable,
contribution. You made a great
completely
contribution. That's
uncharitable,
good.
and you're
Bye.
just a jack
Bye. Come on. It's not
fraud.
worth talking to
In
Have a
people.
short,
wonderful day.
That's what you
in
said.
short, Claude Buzz is an
You
idiot.
said thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
There,
wow. That's
there you
That
go.
was
looping.
interesting. Hey, did
Looping,
you guys see yesterday?
looping the
Did you
guy
guys
that
see the
goes on
Hebrew
shows and
Israelite? The
swears.
Hebrew Israelite that came onto my stream?
I did.
I have.
I did
Yeah. I know, Gangster, you're in there, and you're saying like the whole time. I didn't highlight any of your comments, by the way, because I'm a little intimidated by that guy. To be completely honest with you, because like there's Hebrew Israelites in my city, and I'm not trying to get killed. That guy's from the Bronx too. But yeah, you're right, man. Those guys are racist as heck. They don't even think they can be racist. That's how racist they are.
Hebrew Israelites are
Yeah.
racist.
Well,
for sure.
I had said in Terry's chat after, because Josh was asking why I didn't engage, and I had, from what I've heard of Black Israelites, that was what I was under the assumption of. So I was like, I'll just hear what's going on. And then at the end, when he said that, I was so glad I didn't, because how do you talk with someone who doesn't think they can be racist?
Yeah. I say that for the very end because, like, Josh is like, "Do you have any other questions?" I'm like, "Just one more." I think a lot of people have this conception that the Hebrew Israelites don't like the white people. Like, can you just tell us what you think happens to us?
Let's hear Terry's take on this one.
Well, I was just going to interject that, that's actually a really common belief in social justice circles now. A lot of white liberals believe this nonsense too, that if you're not, you can't be racist.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves, that illogical thought.
Terry, you're just supposed to say racism doesn't exist. That was it.
I don't really believe in it, but I mean, there are people who are hostile to others because of their race, and a lot of those people are, not white.
Yeah.
Well, especially I grew up in a very diverse area in Boston, and I was like a white guy who grew up with hip hop, hung out with all the black guys and stuff. We called a wigger and all that. So I've seen both sides. I've seen white people who love black people. I've seen white people who don't particularly care for black people. I've seen black people who love white people, and I've seen black people who openly don't care. So I know that there is racism on both sides, and I know that there's just good and bad people. But I believe what Jesse Lee Peterson says. I don't believe in racism. I believe it's good and evil. Like, people who are racist, it's not the race. They're just bad people, and race is one of the things that they cling to.
Yeah.
But
culture,
in them, it's not the root, and we have to get out the root, which is the fact that they've got anger or, some other indwelling sin. This is just a manifestation, a fruit of the sin. It's not the actual sin, which is anger.
We could all agree that the French are useless.
Pride.
We have, there's a joke in America that I forget how it goes, but it has to do with the white flag. Oh, the white flag is French's national flag.
There you go.
Yeah, their battle cry is "I surrender."
Retreat.
Claude, that's towards you, I guess.
To be fair, they did have Napoleon, one of the greatest conquerors ever.
It's like water off a ducks back.
Yeah,
and
because
Oh
you're
yeah,
not
it's
even
all
not
good
even
fun. We're
French.
just joking.
You're worse. You're
Oh
pretending
yeah,
to be
Yeah,
Claude, are
French.
you
exactly.
French? I'm sorry, man. I didn't even
No,
realize that.
he's worse. He's
That's no problem. I've got a
he's
sense of
pretending to
humor.
be French. He's not even French. He's from New
I've got a
Zealand.
sense of humor, as opposed to this idiot who's just yelling and screaming called Lupin. He's a
Dog,
complete dork.
you
Everybody
know
knows
how
it, and even his mate Hoven knows it. And he goes on
my
Hoven's
mate.
show and bores Hoven,
Oh,
and Hoven can't wait to get rid of him. It's so funny. And then he plays profanity
you
on
know
other
how
people's shows and pretends that he didn't know what was in it. I've put plenty of clips up
you know
about it.
how
It's
lame
great
you
to
gotta
hear.
be.
And that's the sort of a guy that thinks he's going to win
You know
souls
how
for the
lame you gotta
Lord.
be to
You're so
pretend to
lame,
be a
Claude. You're so
Frenchman.
lame.
You gotta
Anyway,
pretend to be a
hey
Frenchman.
everybody, to make sure that belts turn into my stream, Atheism Sucks Part 8947 is gonna be belts really different from all the other parts of my channel about how atheism sucks and about atheism is horrible and atheists are the worst people imaginable.
No,
Sorry.
atheism is stupid. Change my
Oh,
mind.
sorry. Actually, I didn't put in enough.
Yeah, you gotta use more filler words. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is,
Yeah, I know. I mean, you gotta really work. You really gotta work on that.
Oh, he's got you. The reverse Uno card.
Oh, he's got me down pat. That sounds just.
Because I'm not intelligent as you, and I can't
You
be
guys love each
verbose.
other.
I can't be verbose.
You put me in a police lineup, and
You guys sound like Marvin the Martian.
I won't be able to read the words on it because I'm so drunk. Sorry, guys. But yeah, make sure to catch my stream. It's going to be really good and different from all of my other streams. I'm going to make more homoerotic remarks about the guy that assassinated that CEO. What was up with that, Lupin? That was kind of sus what you said about that Luigi guy. It was kind of sus, bro.
Luigi's Mansion.
I said he was an attractive dude, and he threw away his life.
Tell me you're playing. Tell me you're playing right now. Just tell me you're playing right now, Lupin. Tell me you're playing.
Yeah, I was showing this off in front of my camera because I know you'll like this, David. I have a crucifix as well from the Catholic Church. I don't mind Catholic prayer beads. I think they're nice. So yeah,
that's just an
when I gave my mother, and it has soil from Jerusalem.
You're muted, bro.
I think you're muted, Zion.
Oh yes, yeah, that's beautiful. Is this an Orthodox one?
Well, it looks a little bit more Orthodox. Yeah, it might be.
That's
It might
crosses
be.
here too. Yeah, my sister.
Yeah, because I got one right here that's an Orthodox one, and it's very similar. It's kind of just got like a normal cross and like a tassel.
You said you had one with Jerusalem dirt on it.
Yeah, this one here is what I bought my mother. So when she passed away, I got it back, and it's got soil from Jerusalem. It's got the Blessed Mary here
that's
with
beautiful. Yeah,
Jesus, and
that's
here's
beautiful.
the crucifix. Yeah,
I love that crucifix. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Jerusalem crucifix, and I love it a lot. So, yeah.
Terry, I was just wondering, can you teach me how to read, please?
Jeez. Lupin knows how to read. I've heard Lupin read.
Hey, Daniel, Terry and I learned today Gangster doesn't know if he's been baptized.
Oh, Gangster. Well, you get to choose between Orthodox, Catholic, and the wrong one, the schismatic.
Well, he likes all three.
He
likes all three.
Right, we're Baptists. We're into this. We just got our baptismal thing fixed too. We'll get you dunked real good and proper. Everybody.
Oh, good.
Why do you guys call it dunked?
Hey, you got to dunk them, man. You got to do full
calling
immersion.
it dunked is just so
fun.
What do the Catholics do? They don't dunk their people?
They just sprinkle. They go
sprinkle.
I got video evidence that says otherwise.
Yeah, I was trying to think we do. I don't know though. I genuinely don't know. I haven't seen the actual baptism in my life.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I see them all the time. And what's cool is we always have 3 exorcisms, right? And it's part of our baptismal rite. So those out there are like, oh, do Orthodox, do exorcisms? I'm like, they do it all every single priest is an exorcist. They do them all the time, like probably once a month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Father Charles talked about exercise.
Us Catholics have a joke. Everyone makes fun of us until they need an exorcism. They call the Catholics.
Man, they should be calling the Orthodox, because the Orthodox actually do it without like needing, I don't know, higher up. Because don't you have to go like through all these channels to get an
You
exorcism?
guys don't? Yeah. We have to make sure. Yeah, we have to make sure they're not psychologically mad. We have to make sure there's not like that. We let the scientists make sure that it's not a natural reason for their. But there was reasons. I believe there was reasons because people had died in the past. So and they were blaming the exorcism. So.
Oh, we're loosey goosey on that. All it takes is a priest to say, if you ask your priest for an exorcism, he'll say, yeah, let's do it. It's the same thing with canonization of saints. It has nothing to do with like any kind of particular rules. It's just, did they find this person to be saintly? In which case, then you'll get canonized if there's enough evidence.
Yeah.
Validated limited attention span. You got violated, so I'm just gonna start scrolling all over the place now.
That's annoying.
Yeah. And the Holy Spirit.
Was that Wayne?
That was
getting
Joe's
baptized as a
baby.
Dunking the baby. Look, he's just dunking that baby like it's like
When
Michael Jordan.
They gotta learn sometime. They gotta learn sometime. They say these babies don't understand what's going on. Who knows?
That was really good
Oh
audio.
wow, my mother always had a snippet of our hair too. I wonder if that was from our baptism.
I love the 187 decibel audio of the background noise of the church as they're baptizing those babies, Lupin. That was really good stream mixing audio right there. No, that was good.
Yeah, I put so much effort into it. You have no idea.
I don't know how the volume button works because I got baptized. Play this super loud thing over the street and then just hope that Aiden can't get hurt. It's not gonna work. The video's over. Time to play another overly loud.
2 points.
In the name of the Father,
2 points.
and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
He's on fire.
It adds so much to the stream, but it's 187 decibels loud. It's really good.
Play it again, Lupin. Play it again. Come on.
Daniel, if Bruce ever comes back on your stream, you got to play that for him.
Come on, Lupin. Play it again. It was really good. If you play it a third time, it'll make it even better. Come on.
I'll wait till you actually start talking.
I love seeing it, so you can keep playing. I love seeing babies get
Make
baptized.
sure you put a volume booster on it so it's extra loud.
Glory to God.
Wish.
Look how happy the woman is. Everybody looks so happy.
Justin Kim Weird.
Lupin, if you play it on half,
Yeah, that's a lot of Orthodox.
If you play the video on half speed, you can make it go twice as long. As a matter of fact, do you have a volume booster available on hand? Do you have anything on hand, Lupin, to make it even louder by any chance? Because I don't think it was loud enough.
Yeah, play it for the people in the back.
Yeah, make sure you play it again, Claudio, because it'll be even funnier the fourth time that you play it. It'll be even better than the third time that you play it. Come on, do it again.
That baby is honestly like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, the baby looked like, what did you...
what is going on?
What did you do to me?
This baby is questioning its religious beliefs right now.
Did you get baptized in vodka, Lupin?
No.
It was ever clear. Vodka doesn't have a high enough alcohol content.
So, Gangster, that's what you have to look forward to right there.
You're gonna get dunked just like that, Gangster.
We need to ask Brother
He's
Pike.
gonna
did he
Superman
baptize
you right
his
into
baby
the
yet?
bowl. Superman you right.
That's good.
Oh.
That's good.
Maybe we need to ask Brother Pike if he baptized his baby yet. A joke.
Lupin claimed the Bible was written while Jesus was alive. That was a good short. Yeah, where like Mark Reed and AJ totally shut him down on that claim. That was good. That was a good
I didn't
short.
say the Bible was. I said Jesus said things.
No,
that
you
were,
said it was written while he was alive. That was in the short. You did say that. Those were your words.
Okay, yeah.
What was that snort at the end there? Are you a little congested, buddy, or?
I am congested. Yeah.
Oh well, you should. There's like keep the tissue or neti pot works really well as well if you've got like the really bad congestion going on.
Don't be a sad Lupin. Be a happy Lupin.
Don't be a sad Lupin. Be a happy Lupin. Come on, GG. What the heck? You don't have that on deck ready to go?
Look, everyone, this is Mark as a Jesuit.
I'm just looking up to make it seem like I wasn't leaving because of Aiden, but
Enjoy Aiden's company,
I'm going to
though.
announce that I'm going to leave because I think everybody cares.
God be with you, Lupin.
All right, likewise.
It's an airport. I need to announce my departure.
Yep. Flight Lupin.
You're going to make the plane crash if you're that heavy, dude. Don't do that. I don't think you're able to get on a plane per FAA regulations. You got to do some exercise before you do that, my friend.
Yeah.
See you, Zealots
Tim has the
Den.
same problem. Oh yeah. Hi Aiden, what you doing there, little guy?
Oh, I was just running Lupin off. That was kind of why I was here. It was to run Lupin out of town because it's a fun little pastime of mine.
Mark Stoney with the facts. I like Mark Stoney right now. Yeah, the Septuagint. Yeah, it was written in Greek. And a lot of people, like, we have Tim that came up on here. He's just like, how is that even possible that the Septuagint would have been written in Greek? It had to be written in Hebrew. The Jews didn't speak in Greek back then. It's like, history.
Greek than Hebrew.
A little history lesson.
I mean, like,
go
ahead.
Septuagint.
Yeah, when it says in accordance with the scriptures,
what is that? Is that
they're
like
talking about the
Italian
Old
Greek
Testament.
fire?
So Mark Stoney's right about that. That scripture that's referred to in the New Testament is the Septuagint of the Old Testament. Yeah.
Is Lupin Aiden's mortal enemy?
No. I think Dan graduated to that station.
Okay. What about Dan Newman?
Yeah. Yes.
Hi.
That's right.
It's me.
I hope Zealot comes back.
He said his laptop was dying.
I hope Lupin does not come back. But that's just me.
Daniel, what does the Orthodox Church stance on evolution? Do they have one?
Oh, an abortion?
Evolution.
Oh, evolution. We don't really have a stance on evolution. We don't care when it comes to science. We look at that as like not being part of our faith. So it's just like we don't deny it, and we don't like talk about it either. It's just like it's something separate from us. Like the church, we have our own world. We have a kingdom that we're concerned about, not this world. This world's fallen, and yeah, maybe evolution is part of the fallen world. How do we know? I'm not. The thing is, if you were to make a stance on evolution and there gets to be more and more evidence supporting it, then what do you do with your faith? Do you now say, oh, God's wrong because evolution's right? You know?
I can respect that position a heck of a lot more than I can respect people like the Proverbs guys who one of their big attack points that they'll go about all day long is that in the Bible? Is that in the Bible? Do you find that in Scripture? Do you see that in Scripture? And yet they talk about evolution day in, day out, day and night. Like that's some big thing that they're supposed to fight against, that like the Bible teaches them to fight against, and they try to come up with all this justification for it. And the Bible has nothing to say about evolution whatsoever. It has nothing to say for it or against it. It's just it's incredible. It's entirely neutral, the same way that the Bible's entirely neutral on the internal combustion engine. It's just not something that people,
or how stars are created. Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't. It doesn't matter to us. Yeah.
It's irrelevant functionally to the scriptures. So
Something to say.
sorry, what was that? What was that,
I
Terry?
got something to say.
Okay, Terry.
Go ahead.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna head out. I finally got myself ready. I'm going to church. Peace out.
Terry, glory to God. I'm glad you're going to church.
Lord, man, today it's hard morning, but I'm gonna make it. All right, bye.
The courts of the Lord. Enjoy.
I'm gonna sit at home. I might go into my closet at some point in order to do some reorganizing, but I don't think I'm going to pray in my closet. I don't think.
Aw, come on. Pray in your
They say
closet.
you should come out of your closet.
Well, I mean that's where the apostles did a lot of their praying.
I'm just joking, Aiden. They say you should come out the closet. I'm just joking.
Oh
Aiden.
my goodness.
Just
No,
joking.
but I just these people that always talk about, well, is that in the Bible? You guys talk about all these things that are external to the Bible. You talk about this and you talk about that. And a whole bunch of the things that they stand behind, the rapture, you know.
It's not in the Bible.
It's not in the Bible. Evolution isn't in the Bible, for or against it. Like, all of these ideas that they insert into the scripture while saying that, oh, well, you guys are the ones that are adding to scripture. You guys are the ones that are putting all these things into the scripture. And it's like, well, the people that are quote unquote adding to the scripture are people that were like taught by the apostles, though, right? So I think there's a little bit of a difference.
That's what I
Irenaeus.
confronted that with the Hebrew Israelite yesterday. He's like, well, how could they change the day of when they meet for the temple? You know, why is it now Sunday instead of Saturday? And I'm like, well, they changed it because, and they have good reasons for it, because that's when Christ was resurrected. And we believe in the 8th day, that we're given the Lord's day. And he was just like, well, if you add to scripture, it says in Revelations, you'll be cursed. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Revelations is talking about specifically that book of the Bible.
Right.
You're not supposed to add or subtract to that prophecy.
Well,
they're like, no, it's the whole Bible. And I'm like, all right, if that's the case, then the Protestants don't have as many books as the Orthodox, and neither even do the Catholics. So like, I guess we're the best. We didn't add or subtract to scripture at all.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Black Hebrew Israelites, I don't know as much about them as I do other kind of breakaway sects of Christianity, but
Do you know what they think is going to happen to us?
What's that?
They think we're going to become their slaves in heaven.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
Only ones else believe that are Satanists believe that in their afterlife that they get to have.
I thought there was no suffering in heaven, and like
That's what you would think.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they're really good slave owners. I mean, that could be it.
I mean, it's like saying that you're a really good murderer. You know, like, yeah, I guess like you could say that some murder is technically better than other murder, but it's still murder, right? Like, no matter how you dress it up, it's still murder at the end of the day. That's how I view slavery.
You own one of God's creation, apparently, but that flies in heaven, apparently.
Look, like race, and I talked with Terry about this. It's funny that this got brought up when she left, but race is just not something that people considered in ancient times. It was not something that occupied the forefront, let alone really the thought process of how people categorized each other back then. The main things that were considered back in the day were your religion and where you came from. The specific, like, not like, are you African or are you European? Like, those broad kind of labels really weren't a thing back in the ancient world. It was, which town did you come from? You know, like, which region did you come from? That was a lot more important. And we really see functionally that Black people in the medieval or even antiquity in Europe were not treated as in any way worse or with any kind of deference because of being Black. They were, if anything, they would
I
be...
showed him Moses the Black, the icon. I'm just like, look, we glorify Black people. You know, if they did the work.
Moses the Black is my favorite desert.
He's really cool.
No, he's good. He's good.
And that's what I was saying to him. I'm like, if you want to go back to your roots, like you claim that you do, why don't you just become an Orthodox? Because in Africa, Orthodoxy, they kept Orthodoxy there. To this day, there's still Orthodox churches there.
I mean, Ethiopia adopted Christianity even before the Romans did. They were the first state to actually officially, I believe it was Ethiopia, then Armenia, and then Rome that adopted Christianity.
Oh, actually, they're the second. The first was in the Middle East country.
Oh, was it Armenia that adopted it first?
It might have been Antioch.
Yeah.
Well, Armenia is like a state. Like Antioch is a city. It wasn't really a polity until the Principality of Antioch in the 11th century. But yeah, as far as the Black Hebrew Israelites go, I get why they have so much contempt in the aspect of looking at it from a historical context. Like, if you want to look at it purely from that kind of angle, okay, fine, fair enough. Your people were done an incredible injustice. That's true, but that's not true now. And it hasn't been true for a long time. And I think that this, like, the issue of that has been, for lack of a better term, it's been made a very black and white kind of affair where either you think that people need to pay reparations to these people and there needs to be all of this like deference and kowtowing and all this stuff, or you think that it should just be swept under the rug and forgotten about and it should just not be talked about anymore. I don't think either one of those are good approaches. I think that there's nuance that's desperately needed in that, where we need to remember the things that were done to Black people in the transatlantic slave trade. That does need to be remembered. Sorry, go ahead, Gigi.
Already slavery there in the first place.
That doesn't take away from the fact that the transatlantic slave trade was a horrible thing.
Yes, sure. But their slavery there is no times worse. They have slavery just for sex.
But that's like I was saying, Gigi, it's like murder. Like,
yeah, and also,
different kinds of slavery can be worse than other kinds of slavery, but it's still slavery. It's still fundamentally wrong.
And we got to think with the transatlantic trade, like so many slaves died on those ships. Like a lot of them didn't even make it. And it's like, that's a horrible thing to do to human dignity. It's like, you're just like, oh yeah, some of these are perishable. Like, it's like transiting oranges and you're like, these ones went moldy, you know?
They're chattel. They weren't viewed as people. They were viewed as property.
Yeah. It's horrible.
They bought from slaves from slavery in Africa.
Yeah, they already had the system of slavery, but that's the whole world.
That doesn't take away from what happened, though. That doesn't take away from the fact that those people should be remembered too, Gigi. I'm perfectly aware of the Congo and the slavery that took place there and the slavery that was conducted by the Islamic states like the Ottoman Empire and the
which still do it to this day. There's still slave owners.
Yeah.
No, sure. There still is slavery in some countries around the world. That is true, and they're predominantly Islamic countries, but I'm pretty sure it's not legalized in any country anymore. I'm pretty sure it is done underground at this point in time. Places like Libya, it was legal under the Gaddafi administration, but it no longer is. Now there's still people that keep them as a holdout from that, but it no longer is a legal thing. Now, yeah, you were talking about human dignity earlier, Daniel, and that's the reason why I, as a secular humanist, have such a fundamental problem with slavery, is because I view human beings as being entitled to be afforded a level of dignity. And I think an institution like slavery, arguably more than almost any other institution in human history, serves to take away people's dignity through no fault of their own.
Aiden, may I ask why? Why do humans deserve any dignity?
Why do humans deserve a certain amount of dignity? Because I'm an empathetic animal that exists within a social framework where I cannot survive and propagate and live a good standard of living without cooperation from other people. And I know as an empathetic creature that I would not want to be subjected to that behavior, and I would not that done to myself or people that I care about, and therefore would not want the precedent of it being set for anyone, because as soon as that is set, it can be done to people that I do love and care about, as we see it plenty of times throughout history. So I mean, I think that there are reasons that can be provided against slavery. Even if you want to just talk about like a purely economic standpoint, like slavery takes away the potential of so many people. You know, how many Einsteins came and went that could have benefited society through their innovations and inventions, but never had the chance because they knew nothing but bondage their entire life. You know, like it's not just the suffering that you have to take into account, the tangible suffering that did take place, but the lost potential that an institution like slavery creates. So that has to be factored into things as well. And that's an unquantifiable thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. And also, like with technology, the way it used to be, some people would argue that the world had to have slaves in order to make things happen. We don't have that world anymore.
I disagree.
Well, yeah, I'm sure, and I'm just saying from a worldly perspective, it's really easy to justify these things if you don't have something that is like transcendent, and you're like, well, we're made in God's image, and that's why it's always wrong.
I think that the idea that I adhere to a subjective morality,
Yeah,
but you adhere to an objective morality, is false.
Yeah, like an absolute morality.
I think your morality is not absolute either, and I can give you examples as to why I think that.
All right, tell me.
So I think that we see in the Bible, through the Old Covenant and the New Covenant, we see things that were once viewed as moral, and absolutely necessary for the keeping of God's covenant, like circumcision, that you do not see as a requirement in the New Testament. Now, you don't see that because of Christ, because of what he did. There's a reason for that change. But the fact of the matter is, in order for morality to be objective, it needs to be completely unchangeable, unmoving, irregardless of any circumstance whatsoever, no matter how great or small. In order for it to be objectively moral, it needs to be absolute and unmoving. And that is not a absolute unmoving piece of morality. It changed. It was subject to change. It is subject.
The exterior, the outer appearance of it changed. So like we still have circumcision. We just have it now of baptism. Where before it was, the whole point of circumcision was to sanctify, is to set you apart from everybody else. So that
I understand. No, I get why circumcision was the thing. I understand in the context of the Bible why it was instituted. I know why it no longer is practiced. I know the reason that was cited by Paul for no longer practicing it and why it wasn't necessary anymore. I understand all of that. But the point that I'm making is that it is evidence through the fact that this was once an absolutely moral thing that was required. And it came to a point later on in the book where it was made clear that it would profit you nothing. That it was not, in fact, an absolutely moral thing. It was subjective. It was subject to change. And the thing with objective morality is, I like to think of objective morality as a kind of plate armor, as opposed to a chainmail of subjective morality. See, with chainmail, there's supposed to be gaps. That's part of the armor. That's how it works. That's how it functions. But with objective morality, as soon as you get one fault in that armor, as soon as you get one hole in that, the rest of it functionally fails. Because that weak point makes all of the rest of it stand out. It's no longer perfectly integral. It's no longer objective anymore.
Yeah, so we understand it by the revelation of God, that we were revealed in part before, and it's like we misunderstood things too. And there's a time and a season because of what it was all leading up to. Like in the genealogy of Christ, we wouldn't be able to necessarily know that if it wasn't for circumcision, just to set them apart, you know.
And look, when I say that, I've had people get offended. I've had people get very upset when I've said that about them, that they don't adhere to objective morality. But I really don't mean any offense by it whatsoever. I think if people really sat down and thought, about what it really means to say that you have objective morality, I think they would find that basically everyone would have to admit that living a truly objective moral life is functionally impossible.
Well, living an objective moral life is very difficult and maybe somewhat impossible, but that doesn't mean that objective morality doesn't exist. It just means that we don't always see it fully, and we don't always practice it.
Is it objectively moral to shelter people in need?
Well, I mean, I guess it would depend on who you're sheltering.
Exactly.
I mean, are they Nazis?
You know, well, and that's what I was going to say, was as if you said, well, the yes or no, I was going to ask you, you know, like if, you know, Herman Goring or post-trial Ted Bundy comes to your door and they're like, hey, you mind hiding me from the cops? Chances are you're probably going to say no, because you recognize under those circumstances, it is subject to change. And that is the reality of morality, in my opinion, is that it is subjective. Any morality that claims to be objective is just a whole bunch of subjective moralities wearing the trench coat of objective morality.
Well, you could say, like, on a personal level, like in practice, it's subjective, but we hold that there is an objective morality. We just might not fully see it. Like, we might not be able to recognize it.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Gigi.
When I need to do this real quick.
I'm looking forward to it.
Mr. Clay.
People like, oh.
Aiden.
I'm going to the car wash.
Wrong.
Let Gigi talk.
Aiden, is it absolutely wrong to have slaves?
Is it absolutely wrong to have slaves? In my personal viewpoint, I would view that as absolutely wrong under any circumstance, yes, but that does not mean that I adhere to absolute morality, because as I said, absolute morality, as it is literally interpreted, is that which has no subjective circumstance built into it. It can't allow any.
What if, like, the only way to save someone's life was to make them your slave? Like, someone's just like, I'm going to kill this person unless they become your slave. And you're just like, well, I'll just be really cool to this person so they stay alive.
If they got killed, if I didn't make them my slave,
yeah,
I can't really see a scenario where that would functionally happen.
It's definitely going to happen, dude. This is a realistic
yeah, no, I can see it. You know, under those circumstances, it would have to depend on, like, what kind of slavery are we talking about? Because, like, if it's a slavery that's, like, socially acceptable where other people are doing it, then yeah, I guess that might be different. But if it's a case of, well, I have to enslave him in order to keep up the appearance, a certain kind of appearance in order to keep him alive, then I would just free him at the first possible outset, or her, as soon as I possibly could. It's, once again, it's an example of it's subjective. It's subject to the circumstance of what's happening.
You could pretend. You could be like, all right, look, you're really free, but when we're in public, you got to pretend you're my slave.
Yeah, like there's ways of alleviating yourself of that scenario where you don't actually enslave that person. So I think I would be comfortable saying it's like the R word, for example. I won't say it because I don't want Gigi's channel to be flagged, but you know,
red.
Yes. No, red. I mean sexual assault. I mean, like, that, in my opinion, is absolutely wrong. There's no scenario that I could concoct.
Or pedophilia, that's another one.
Yeah, there's no scenario that I could concoct where that would be morally acceptable. But that doesn't, and people will ask about that. And then if they hear my response, they'll be like, oh, aha! See, you do believe in absolute morality. No, I don't. I believe that there are contingencies where that is something that is necessary, but that is an absolute moral. That is not absolute morality. There is a distinction.
That's kind of like, I feel like a bit of a delineation that kind of helps my side too. Is like, even it's not really necessarily that you have to always have the same rules that make an absolute morality. or objective morality, whichever term, because that could exist without us being able to always meet it, you know? And for all we know, maybe that takes different forms. Like an objective morality might have conditions to it, and we just don't know. Like I would say like Jesus Christ gave us a really good one. He's like, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love others as I called you to love them, which is to say, like, love them more than yourself.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Gigi. No, go ahead.
There's parts of history people don't know about. Like, they did kidnap them. They bought slaves from Africa.
Well, I mean, those
like
slaves that were bought were
Yeah.
kidnapped. They just weren't kidnapped by those people necessarily.
Yeah, I know, but they did buy them. They would stay there as slaves. Anyway.
Sometimes it happened by warfare too, Aiden. It depends on what stage of the trade you're in. Because
Well,
like later down the
was-
line, they did start actually just taking people.
Well, that was one of
If
the
you think
reasons
about it, being married is like basically like having a slave.
I don't know what
Yeah.
kind of marriage you're having, buddy, but hey, I mean, speak for yourself. It's pretty egalitarian over here, but then again, we're in the early stages, so maybe I'm just speaking out of naivete. Anyways, look, as far as
Are
like,
you married now,
slavery-
Aiden?
No, I'm engaged, but I've been engaged so long at this point that I functionally consider myself married.
Hey, the Jews
Do you
did
do
for 7
conventional
years.
gender
sometimes.
roles? That's
right.
the thing. If you do conventional gender roles, then it's like you have a slave.
That's true. I mean, she's at work right now, and I'm sitting on my butt at home. I should be doing chores right now, so I don't think that's traditional gender role. That's not to say that I don't have a job. I'm just not working today. I got today off, but yeah. As far as like slavery through conquest and things like that, I mean, I still don't agree that slavery is an amenable outcome to being made a prisoner of war. You know, like when it comes to the options afforded to you when you capture someone in the ancient world, if one had to choose between slavery and being freed, I'm pretty sure that person would prefer being free.
That what happened to the Irish. They were at war in Britain, and they're taken as slaves and sold first to Africa, the first ones who bought them, and then America bought them.
Well, the Irish were interesting because a lot of them were what was known as indentured servants. So, and then
that's the only slavery they
well,
had.
no,
back
that's not true.
in America.
That's not true at all. Indentured servitude and chattel slavery both exist. Chattel slavery began in America as early as the 1600s. I believe was when the first African slaves were brought to America.
It was started by this one guy. It was in the South by this one guy. I forgot his name.
What about
He's the one who started.
What about black slave owners in America? Because like black people in America don't ever talk about that, but there's like a lot of blacks who owned other blacks.
Yeah, the first black guy to own a slave. He's the one who started cavalry slavery.
I knew what.
So do you guys agree with that guy Dan had on yesterday, where black people cannot be racist? It's impossible.
No, of course not.
No, of course they can.
It'd actually be racist to say that they can't. It's like you're saying that they're not smart enough to be racist.
So
it's actually, and we're incapable of being racist.
We don't know how to do it.
So it was 1619 that the first African slaves were brought to America. So it was very early in the history of colonial America. We're talking about not too long after Jamestown at that point, that you have slaves being brought to America for the purposes of indentured servitude, or sorry, not indentured servitude, chattel slavery, because both of those did exist alongside each other in America. Indentured servitude and chattel slavery. Now, in some aspects, indentured servitude was even worse, because with indentured servants, most of their agreements stipulated that after 7 years of labor, that they would be afforded a parcel of land. That's where the whole 40 acres and a mule comes from, is from indentured servitude. Now,
I'd go for that.
Most masters would be encouraged to work their servants to death at that point, near the 7-year mark, because, hey, if your servant is dead and they can't collect their 40 acres and a mule, well, I guess you just got to keep all their labor plus the land, didn't you?
That 7 years is because of Jubilee, by the way. That's also bankruptcy laws. Like every 7 years, everyone goes free, whether it be your death or if you're a slave. Yeah.
Well, that's when people talk about how, oh, well, the slavery in America wasn't anything like the biblical slavery. Yeah, chattel slavery wasn't anything like biblical slavery, but you're right. The laws governing indentured servitude were directly based off of biblical precedent. So there absolutely was quote unquote biblical slavery in America, but I would argue that in some aspects it was even worse than chattel slavery.
There is.
But that
go ahead, Gangster. Goes. Yeah, I'll say that.
Well, that kind of slavery was started by the first black guy who had a slave. He's the one
You're
who
saying he
started
started chattel slavery in America?
And yeah, that's what they said. Found on Wikipedia.
I'm gonna fact check that really quick.
All right, while you do, I'm gonna give a very unpopular opinion. I'm actually glad that somebody was a slave. Because St. Patrick, if he didn't become a slave to the Irish, he never would have brought Christianity over to Ireland and done all those miracles and start a precedent. Well, not a precedent, but at least in the West, it was like the first time that the Catholics, they weren't Catholic back then, it was just one church, but the West not doing Latin services and to do it actually in the native tongue. So I'm glad that St. Patrick was a slave because that's how God brought him over to that land. Also glad that Joseph became a slave because that's how he, ended up becoming the leader of, not the leader of Egypt, but might as well have been like really high up.
Oh, Joseph the tech guy?
Joseph, not Joseph, Mary's husband. Joseph, the guy that basically he wore a very colorful jacket, and he told his brothers that he had a dream where they all bowed down to him, and they're just like, "Yeah, we don't like you because you're saying that, and we're going to sell you as a slave as soon as we get a chance." They put him in a pit.
May I read an article that I found here from Time Magazine?
Time Magazine is fake news.
Oh, is it fake news?
Yeah.
Is that what the consensus is about Time Magazine now?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Not legit anymore.
No, they had Hitler on their thing.
Well, yeah, they had Hitler because
that was when they were still good, though. Now they're fake news.
Oh boy, you're gonna get GG show canceled.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking around. I am happy that St. Patrick and Joseph were made slaves, though. I will say that that's a real thing.
I'll read this, and people are welcome to correct me if I'm wrong about this. Is that okay?
You haven't said anything for me to correct yet, but I'm waiting to shout it out.
I want to see if it's okay with GG if I share this.
You really got to get a car wash membership, Dan. You go every day, $30 a month.
So the first African,
yeah,
the first
Sorry
Africans,
for it.
The first Africans in Virginia landed in 1619. It was a turning point for slavery in American history, but not the beginning. It was 400 years ago, quote, about the latter end of August, that an English privateer ship reached Point Comfort on the Virginia Peninsula. There, Governor George Yeardley and his head of trade, Cape merchant Abraham Pearsley, bought the, quote, 20 and odd, that word, aboard in exchange for victuals, meaning, you know what, it's in context. I'll read it if it gets brought up again. Meaning they traded for food and slaves. Such a trade, as described 5 months after the fact in a letter to the Virginia Company of London, had never before occurred in English North America, making this an ignominious milestone. and one that 400 years later is still surrounded by misconceptions and debate. At the very least, 1619 represented a landmark in the long history of slavery in European colonies, and the beginning stages of what would become the institution of slavery in America. The New York Times this past weekend, more fake news, announced a special project devoted to its indelible mark on American society, and Hampton, VA is commemorating the anniversary through Wednesday. Previously, on July 30th, when President Trump spoke in Williamsburg to mark the 400th anniversary of Virginia's General Assembly, he noted in a speech boycotted by the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus over Trump's comments about black politicians that it wasn't long after that governing body first met that the colony saw, quote, "the beginnings of a barbaric trade in human lives," is what I believe he would have said.
Very terrible.
It was so terrible. It was the worst, let me tell you. I know slavery. I know it.
Nobody knows slavery more than me.
Nobody knows slavery like Donald J. Trump, let me tell you. What began in 1619? The human cargo that arrived in Virginia in 1619 had come from the port city of Luanda, now the capital of present-day Angola. Back then, it was a Portuguese colony, and most of the enslaved are believed to have been captured during an ongoing war between Portugal and the Kingdom of Ndongo. As John Thornton wrote in the William and Mary Quarterly in 1998, between 1618 and 1620, about 50,000 enslaved people, many of whom had been prisoners of war, were exported from Angola. An estimated 350 of these captives were loaded onto a Portuguese slave ship called the São João Batista, more commonly known as the San Juan Batista. That ship was en route to the Spanish colony of Veracruz when two English privateer ships, the White Lion and the Treasurer, intercepted it and seized some of the Angolans on board. According to James Horn, President and Chief Officer of Jamestown Rediscovery, both ships were owned by a powerful English nobleman, the Earl of Warwick, Robert Rich. Rich was anti-Spanish and anti-Catholic and profited from thwarting Spanish shipping in the Caribbean. The White Lion, which flew under the flag of a Dutch port known for its pirates, came to Virginia first in late August 1619, following 4 days later by the Treasurer. The most cited account of these events in 1619 is found in that letter to the Virginia Company of London, which had run the Jamestown settlement since its establishment in 1607, from John Rolfe, one of the early English settlers there, and most famously Pocahontas' husband. Didn't know that, actually. I didn't know he was
Jonathan Smith or whatever from Pocahontas.
That's a different guy, but yes.
I remember that movie. Can you sense all the colors of the wind?
Historians do not know much about the men and women who were sold to Yeardley and Pearsley or what happened to them, though some of their names have been revealed. Anthony and Isabella, sometimes spelled Isabella, stayed in present-day Hampton, Virginia, in an area then known as Elizabeth City. They worked for William Tucker, a Virginia Company of London stockholder, and had a son also named William Tucker. Another woman who came off the treasure is identified as Angelo, and a 1625 census places her in William Pierce's house in an area outside the Jamesport city called Newtown. So a turning point, not a beginning. The people who came in August 1619 have been described as, quote, the first Africans to set foot on the North American continent, but that is incorrect. For example, as historian Henry Louis Gates Jr. has pointed out, Juan Garrido became the first documented Black person to arrive in what would become the U.S. when he accompanied Juan Ponce de Leon in search of the Fountain of Youth in 1513, one of the famous explorations that was denied by Hernan Cortez. He decided to do a slightly different one in Tenochtitlan. Guess he made out a little bit better because he found a room full of gold, and this guy did not find the Fountain of Youth. They ended up in present-day Florida around St. Augustine, where the first enslaved people in what would become the United States. The Spanish brought enslaved Africans, present-day St. Augustine, the first European settlement in what's now the continental U.S. So I'm just trying to find in here. John Wall, peace between English and power. I don't think it's going to cite a specific person. So do you know where you heard that from, GG?
Oh, I have a lot of places, but can I show you this one thing I found? This one's from the History Channel.
Oh boy, that's a good source right there.
Better than Time Magazine. That's.
I mean, the History Channel is literally like funded by a guy who wrote a book that was ahistorical.
History Channel, but it's from this old show that talked about people's ancestors.
Okay, let's listen.
We can only begin to imagine the sheer horror of the slave trade. But what if we could place an actual ancestor within that story? We were able to do just that for one of Tom Joyner's ancestors, his third great-grandfather, Tony Dumas.
Can you read where it lists Tony Dumas' birthplace on the far right? Place of birth,
the History Channel.
Africa.
KBBS.
Your great-great-great-grandfather, Tony Dumas, was born in Africa around 1790. We tracked down a direct male descendant of Tony's, a distant cousin of yours, and we asked him to take a DNA test to see where Tony was born. So if we found a match, that's where the brother came from. Would you mind turning the page of the scrapbook? This could mean your great-great-great-grandfather was a member of the Balanta people from the country of Guinea-Bissau. On the coast. It is an exact match. Yep.
How do you think he was captured?
Probably through a war. You know, there were African middlemen, and they would fight wars with other Africans to enslave them to sell to the white man. Slavery was a huge business for different African kingdoms. You know the story that we got when we were kids, that your ancestor was out on one Sunday with his girlfriend and some white man jumps out of the bush and throws a net over him? It's not how it happened. Slavery was big business. Africans sold other Africans to the Europeans.
So after he was snatched from Africa, came over on a slave ship? On that long boat ride.
From hell?
Yes.
Discoveries like
this, and here's another one.
Well, hold on. Can I respond to that real quick before you play another one?
Yeah.
So I acknowledged earlier that yeah, the Africans did profit off of the transatlantic slave trade, but plenty of those Africans, like the Kingdom of the Congo, were Christians. They were converted by the Europeans to Christianity. The King of the Congo officially announced his conversion to Christianity in I believe it was the early to mid 1500s that occurred. So well before the 1790 date that was ascribed to that gentleman. Now, like it's what I'm trying to say is that it's more complicated than just, oh, well, the Africans just sold slaves to the Europeans. That's true. But they sold slaves to the Europeans because the Europeans accepted them as Christian brothers. And
I need to they didn't buy them from the Christian ones, they bought them from the Muslim ones.
no, the Kingdom of the Congo was a Christian kingdom, and that's where the majority of the African slaves came from, was the Congo. Now, they did come from other regions, like what he said, Guinea-Bissau. that is north of the Congo. It's on the it's near the Ivory Coast. I believe is it north or south of Senegal? It's close to Senegal.
And
And
Muslims ruined Africa.
well,
hey, I got to get out of here, guys. I'm gonna fall asleep. I love you. Take care. God be with you all.
No problem. Take care.
Take care. Here's another thing I'd like to show you.
Yeah, sure. Feel free.
While slavery existed in the American colonies through the establishment of the United States as a country until the end of the Civil War, there have been many misconceptions about slavery in general. Most Americans are not aware that there were some black former slaves and freemen who also owned black slaves, and some became very prominent in politics as well, despite the racial prejudice that existed. Some black slave owners inherited their slaves from their masters, who were themselves freed in their wills. Others were either born free or emancipated by their masters and then bought their own slaves, while others were able to buy their own freedom and that of their families. Who were these black slave owners, and how did they attain such a status in a white-dominated society? What set them apart from other blacks, and what made them comparable to whites in some of the colonies and later states? What changed in colonial society, altering the status of indentured servants to lifetime slaves,
This is the
and
guy.
why? Who was?
This is the guy right here.
Okay, well, I do want to hear about him, but I also want to say the language that's being used here of how they were equivalent to white people is not true, because they were not afforded rights that white people were afforded. They were not able to vote. They were not able to marry the way that white people were able to marry. Their marriages were not legally recognized, and that disallowed them from inheriting property the way that white people were able to inherit it. So I mean, like, if this is true, if there were black slave owners, which I'm sure there were, then I don't see what that, like, what's the point?
I mean, the one who started it was this guy who made it cowrie slavery.
Who made it chattel slavery? I want to hear that. Yeah, let's listen to that.
Anthony Johnson.
Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, former soldier, Marine Corps scout sniper, history professor, historian and book author, and we will answer these questions and other issues on this segment of Forgotten History.
The vast majority of African Americans in the United States were enslaved, in all of the states, not just the South. Our first person of note is Anthony Johnson, who was born in Angola and captured by Portuguese slave traders, and he was given the name Antonio. Then his captors sold him into the Atlantic slave trade. He sailed to Virginia in 1621 aboard the ship James.
So he was sold as a slave to America.
Yeah, that's when same I think Irish were here first as slaves, I think.
But you said that he started chattel slavery?
Yeah, he made it much worse, or they stay slaves.
You know what? I'll listen to the whole claim before I get at it. I'll listen to the whole thing.
The Virginia census of 1624 lists his name as Antonio, not given, and he was recorded as a Negro in the notes column and indentured. Antonio, later Anthony, was bought by a colonist in Virginia, but treated as an indentured servant, which was not unusual, and Antonio worked for a merchant at the Virginia Company, and he became a Catholic. Johnson...
because they're in different search, heck, pronounce it as slavery too.
Indentured servitude.
Yeah, that's the only slavery they had back then. I looked up on History Channel.
Was sold as an indentured servant to a white planter named Bennett to work on his Virginia tobacco farm. Technically, he was not a slave because the slave laws were not passed until 1661 in Virginia. So prior to that date, Africans were not officially considered to be slaves in that colony. According to the records kept by his benefactor and the existing documents, Anthony was nearly killed in the Indian Massacre of 1622 when the Powhatan Indians attacked colonists in the Tidewater region of Virginia. On Good Friday, they raided the settlement, including the Bennett farm, where Antonio worked, and killed 52 of the 57 men present. Antonio apparently fought back and was wounded and earned the esteem of his master. In 1623, a black woman named Mary arrived aboard the ship Margaret and John. She was brought to work on the same plantation as Antonio, where she was the only woman present. Antonio and Mary married and lived together for more than 40 years. Around 1635, Antonio and Mary completed their indentured servitude, and Antonio changed his name to Anthony Johnson. He first...
What?
I think I understand. I think I understand a bit more of the picture now. So, I have a question for you, Gigi.
Yeah.
Imagine for a moment that there's a father and he is abusive towards his children. He hits them with a belt, he yells at them, he screams at them. He doesn't give them a good reason as to why, until they confront him one day and he says to them, well, I treat you the way that I do because my parents treated me like this, because they treated me this way. I got hit by them, I got abused by them, they yelled at me, they screamed at me, and when I asked them why they did that, they told me that that's because that's the way that their parents handled it. Does that justify that father's behavior?
No.
No. It might explain it a little bit. It might help shed some light as to why they're acting that way. But it doesn't justify the behavior. It just means that they did it as a result of what was done to them. And I think that that's what we're seeing here. We see somebody who was brought in, who was a slave themselves, as we acknowledged earlier, indentured servitude is a form of slavery. He was a slave himself. He was someone else's property. And when he got free of those circumstances, his perception of the world was colored based on his experience.
That was like back in the days. Everywhere they had slaves.
But we moved beyond that as a society, didn't we? And that took people realizing, especially people in the abolitionist movement and people in the movements that freed slaves, like the Underground Railroad. It took those people standing up and realizing that this was wrong and affecting the change that they wanted to see in the world. Now, I'm sure that, you know, it's like the analogy that I gave. That father didn't have to abuse his child. He didn't have that. That's why I feel like you said earlier, well, that doesn't excuse his behavior. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like the reason why you said that is because you recognize that he still had a choice in how to treat his kids. He still could have treated them well. He still could have recognized, well, that's what my parents did to me, but that doesn't mean that I have to do it to my kids. And that's the choice that this person was confronted with. They got dealt a bad hand in life. Circumstances made it so that they didn't have to suffer that anymore. And rather than choosing to help his fellow man and lift people out of those circumstances, they chose instead to partake in the very system that led to their suffering. Oh, well, I suffered, so why shouldn't they suffer? That's a mentality that's very common with people, but that's not a mentality that will see to change. It's not one that will see that conditions are improved amongst people. It would people like Harriet Tubman that oversaw that change happened in the world. You know, it was people like Abraham Lincoln that oversaw that change happening in the world. It was the abolitionists that spoke at length about the evils of keeping another human being as property and how these people are not just 3/5 of a person. They're not just an abstraction of a person that was created to be servants for us. No, they're humans with flesh and bone and blood and feelings and emotions and thoughts and dreams. They have all of that just the same as we do. So I don't really see what bringing people like this up does, except point out that, yes, unfortunately, there's a tendency in human behavior for when somebody is made the victim of horrible behavior, that they enact that kind of behavior or an abstraction of that behavior onto other people themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, he changed everything where they from servitude to calorie slavery. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, to indentured slavery, to chattel slavery. I mean, chattel slavery did still exist throughout America, but yeah, it started becoming a racial thing. It started being, oh, well, whites can become chattel slaves, and blacks can be chattel. Or sorry, whites can become indentured servants, and blacks.
They talk about that's the only type of slavery they had, and Irish were that too. They were the first one I heard were bought to America. No, actually,
well,
there was slavery before USA here. The American Indians had slaves.
That's
each
true.
other.
Yeah, they enslaved each other. That's true.
And they stole land from each other and
yeah, they
all
fought
that
wars
stuff.
for land.
When
and
America
territory.
when America got here, between this war and not winning, that's why it said on repeat.
Yeah, once again the argument of, oh well, you know, the Native Americans fought over land. You know, they had wars over it. So, you know, I understand that argument from the context of, and I'm sure this is what you're trying to do. You're just trying to show people that it's not so black and white of, oh, well, you know, the Native Americans were peaceful and they just loved each other all the time and they always got along. And then these horrible, evil white people came and they messed all that up. Obviously, that's not true. And that's not a retelling of history that serves any benefit. But I think it's equally unproductive to take the idea of, oh, well, you know, the American Indians fought wars with each other, therefore it's justifiable what we did to them. No, I don't think it justifies the extent of what happened to those people. I don't think it justifies treaties being broken and people being taken on death marches like the Trail of Tears into a completely new land they had never known before. I don't think it justified cramming them into residential schools where their culture was forcibly stripped away from them and they were beaten and berated if they tried practicing their own culture. You know, like, I don't think any of those things are justified. So it's like with anything, especially with history, in my opinion, it's a very nuanced affair where people need to recognize that there is not a good side on this. There is not an objective good guy or an objective bad guy, but there is ambition at play here. And it's a question of what ambition you favor. Do you favor the ambition of using these people as much as they possibly can be used and then disposing of them like garbage, like slave owners did? Or do you hold the ambition of seeing that those people are freed and giving those people an opportunity to make something of themselves and society at large? I think it's ultimately a question of ambitions. And I think that history as a whole is just a retelling of different people's ambitions through their perspectives or other people's perspectives.
I need to get your news from Time Magazine. They're
I didn't get it from Time. I didn't get it from Time Magazine. Now, like, look, I cited that because what they said in the article is true. Like, the things that they presented within the article were all factually accurate to my mind. Like, I think the idea of inherently discounting a news source just because
History Channel. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was doing that to the History Channel a little bit as a joke based off of what you did with Time Magazine, where you were saying it wasn't a reliable source.
Yep.
I mean, like, it is true. Like, the History Channel is ran by a guy that literally, you can look this up. He promotes what's called yellow history. And yellow history, according to him, is taking historical facts and adding a little bit of spice to it here and there, add a little bit of embellishment here, add a little bit of this here and that there. So, yeah, I mean, like, as a whole, am I more skeptical of the claims made on the History Channel than other places? Absolutely. But if the History Channel says that if the History Channel says World War I began in 1914 and ended in 1918, just because they promote stuff that I don't like doesn't make that not true.
Yeah, I know, but Time Magazine's left this saying they're very not trust.
I think left and right thinking is really counterproductive. I think labeling everything as left wing and everything as right wing is such a ridiculous oversimplification. And it's not even something that you find throughout history either. It's very much so like a product of the last few decades, where media has gotten people so fixated on like this us versus them mentality, to like the point where some Americans view leftists and some leftists view right-wing people in America. It's like almost like, and I know you don't view it like this, but some people really do take it to the point where like they view other people as subhuman and like other and not even American and not this and not that. And at the end of the day, I think that most people would find that that left-winger actually shares a lot more ideas about things than you think. And if those differences are all that we're going to talk about, then of course that's only going to be what's going to be talked about all day long is, oh, well, you think this and I think that, and that's different. But when it comes to things like labor, I think that people on the left and the right actually agree on a lot of things. I think most people agree that right now people are making less money than they deserve. They're getting less representation than they deserve. And they're being shafted by a system that could not care less for them. I think most people on the left and the right would agree on that. But unfortunately, that's not what's being talked about right now. The commonalities between left and right are not what's being talked about, because the commonalities are what those elite people that run this place are terrified of us talking about. They don't want us talking about what we believe in, what we have in common. Because if we start focusing on what we have in common, then we'll stop focusing on fighting each other and start focusing on the real problem, which is them. It's them. It's always been them. They have always been the people that have been stoking this resentment amongst the population, amongst each other. And I'm not saying that there's no difference. Of course, there's going to be differences between people on the left and right wing, and it shouldn't be something that's not talked about at all. Sure, it can be brought up, but I think so many people fall into this trap of viewing everything through this left versus right, red versus blue nonsense.
Oh.
And it's counterproductive. And I'm not saying that you're doing that. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just going off on a bit of a rant on the way that I see, especially America, going right now. If people stopped focusing on that and started focusing on what they had in common with each other, then I think that we would be able to find that the average standard of living of people wouldn't be going on a decline like we're seeing in recent times. Right now, and when I say recent times, I mean the last few years, with like how inflation has completely gone out of control, how a complete lack of control on things like rent and mortgages has ruined countless lives amongst the country. Like, there are policies that are being enacted right now and that are being kept afloat, not because it benefits people, but because it benefits corporations, because it benefits the 1%. And are those ran by people? Sure they are. Ultimately, it is other people that are causing this to us. But what's the quote about corporations that I've cited before? It's the corporation is the essence of having personal profit, personally benefiting from something without personal responsibility. And I disagree with that.
Do you know that Brother Pike had his baby?
Yes, I heard about that, and I heard that they're very comfy. I just saw in the chat that they got home. That's really good, Christian. I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, I mean, like these issues that are being talked about right now. Oh my God, trans people. Oh my God, gay people. You know, like all these little social issues that are being passed around back and forth. It's going to be functionally irrelevant 50 years from now. Nobody's going to care about the trans bathroom controversy 50 years from now. Nobody's going to care about whether or not women can compete in men's sports or vice versa 50 years from now. It's going to be functionally irrelevant. But I promise you, 50 years from now, people are still going to be worried about their paycheck. People are still going to be worried about the fact that they're making less and less, while the 1% is making more and more. They're going to be worried about the fact that for some reason they've been able to afford a less and less nice place and less nice food and less of the necessities that they once thought were necessities, but turns out, oh, we can scrimp and save on that. We don't have to buy food that actually tastes good. We could just eat top ramen all the time. And thankfully, that's not me. Thankfully, I am in a position right now where I have a good enough staying power financially where I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But as a young person, am I worried about it in my future? Absolutely. I'm worried about it in my future. It's probably the primary reason why I have not had a child personally. I don't knock anybody that chooses to have a child. That's their choice. They can make it all they want. Yeah, exactly. I don't knock you, Christian, for having a child. I mean, like, I'm glad that it's brought you and Tammy so much joy. I'm glad that they're healthy. But man, given the state of affairs right now, I would not want to bring a child into this world right now. And that's because we're in a state of affairs where we're made to focus on things that are functionally irrelevant.
Is that absolutely wrong to think about that? Oh, sorry.
It's time to smoke Aiden at a Julius Caesar debate. You know what, dude? You don't even know, all right? You think that you're able to beat me in a Julius Caesar debate, Christian? Let's do it right now. Get on here right now, and we'll do it right here, right now, Christian. Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to see it.
You know, the Danielites were on the PG show the other day.
Oh, really?
Well, do you see
that? Oh, right. That's why they got a whole bunch of views on that one stream. Was because all those guys showed up.
Yeah. And they also had what else? Simon talked to Achilles the other day.
Oh yeah, he smoked him in that too. Like he just kept pointing out, like, that's not part of the Orthodox Church. That's not part of the Orthodox Church. That's not true. This isn't true. Like, and Achilles' claims basically amount to, oh, well, that might not be true over there, but it's true over here. It's like, dude, you're not a reliable source about what's going on in Greece. You tried claiming that there aren't icons of Jesus on Mount Athos, that's all Mary and the saints. You try making all of these like ridiculous claims about orthodoxy, and when somebody comes on to refute you, you just try to divert into something else. You're not a reliable source about what's going on in Greece because you've provably lied about the state of affairs of orthodoxy in Greece.
Why don't you go measure it, Aiden?
You know what? How about this, Marvin? How about we have a debate right here, right now, buddy?
I got something for you right now.
You got that dog.
How about we start spitting random facts and see whose are better?
All right.
You ready?
Go ahead. You first.
Julius Caesar documented aurochs in France before they went extinct.
Pompey IV was the first ever person, Pompey was the first ever person to defeat so many people to the point where he was known as Magnus, or the Great.
That's not even a Caesar fact. It's a Pompey fact.
Yeah, because we're having a debate about Pompey versus Caesar. I thought that was the whole freaking debate.
That's not this. This is just spitting random knowledge.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay, you want me to talk Caesar? I can talk Caesar. Julius Caesar was the first ever person to hold both the office of consul and Pontifex Maximus simultaneously.
That's true. Julius Caesar crossed that pomerium like, what you gonna do about it?
That's true. He did cross that pomerium. And he did, in fact, say, what you going to do about it?
No, it was in Latin, I think. Yeah.
I have a question, Christian. What temple when he crossed that Pomerium, did he raid in order to secure funding for his soldiers?
Oh my God, I know this. Hold on just a second. Oh, I know this.
It's a temple that's famous for keeping the Roman treasury.
I don't remember. Is it Jupiter?
It was Saturn.
Son of a gun. Whatever, you got me this time. The battle's over, but not the war.
You see, I'm like Caesar because you saw one wall over there, and then you turned around, and what did you see, Christian? You saw another freaking wall, was what you saw.
So obviously, Aiden is very happy that Orange Julius won the election.
I'm very happy. Mountain Dew Baja Blast, let me tell you, it's gonna be banned.
They're gonna try to kill him so many more times.
I feel like you're gonna try to kill him if he outlaws a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I feel like you're gonna be up there on that tower, Christian.
If he outlaws that, I won't try to kill anybody.
That freaking dog, man.
That's Dad's dog.
I know, it's a cute dog.
His name is Astro, but I call him Marvin.
No, his canonical name to me is Marvin.
Mm-hmm. He looks just like your dog.
He does. No, he does. He's got floppy little ears. My dog got along rather well with another dog earlier today, which is quite impressive considering how skittish he usually is around other dogs.
You need to get like one of those big old like evil dogs, like a Rottweiler.
yeah, a Rottweiler in this tiny place. That sounds like a great idea.
Like sick of me just kill somebody.
Yeah, tear his throat out.
Oh, you were trying to tell me something yesterday and I ignored your call. What was it?
Oh, yeah. So Achilles, on the Proverbs guys yesterday. Thank you for reminding me about that. I totally forgot.
I felt bad. I didn't mean to ignore you. I was just right in the middle of a discussion.
No, it's all good. Just give me 1 sec here. Sorry, Scooby was barking to be let up on the chair, so I had to go let him up on the chair.
As I was disappointed that I lost the debate so quickly. What did you expect?
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a bad topic. That'd be like me being like, Christian, we're gonna rattle off facts about the Godhead. Let's do it.
You know, honestly, you're probably pretty sharp compared to the average person.
But yeah, Achilles, out of nowhere, apropos of nothing. You were there. You saw the whole thing go down. Out of nowhere, Achilles pulls up the channel analytics.
Okay.
And he, shows, he's like, oh, a certain someone has been talking about our channels and how your channel is more relevant than our channel. And he, showed these statistics. And I think he got, they got 4.6K views that month or something like that.
Okay.
And they got 600 hours of watch time, and they trotted it out there as oh yeah, this is way better than Gangster Ghost's channel. Our show is way more relevant than his. I don't even know if you were paying attention at this particular moment in the show.
I remember now that you reminded me about the analytics thing, because when you messaged me, I was like, what part is he talking about? And I could not think of it until you just now said it.
And Achilles made a point at one point to be it's better than your show, Gangster Ghost, or something along those lines. And I asked Gigi, I gave him a call because that bothered me so much that they were trying to dunk on Gangster Ghost as an attempted oh, look how cool we are. Look, we're better than you. That got to me a little bit. So I called Gangster Ghost in the middle of the show, and I was like, hey, Gigi, do you know how to pull up your analytics for your channel? Because I just knew, even without having access to the analytics associated with Gangster Ghost's channel, that was just not true. This idea that, oh, they've got all these views, and we've got all these views, and our views are so much better than their views. Well, I'm just going to show it, if that's okay, Gigi. Is it okay if I show that?
Okay.
You
tried to come on.
I did try to go on there, and they didn't let me go on.
Oh,
I
didn't
wonder
know
why.
that. I would have told them to let you on.
Yeah, I did try to go on the show. They did not let me on. I wonder why.
They've been buttering me up, and I got to be honest, if the stipends continue, then I can be bought.
Well, I just want to show this. because they're going to deny that it's true if I don't. This is a screenshot from Gangster Ghost that shows that they're like 4.6K views. Gigi's got 6.7K views.
Dang. Logan, look at you, son.
6.7K views. They got 600 hours of watch time, which, by the way, watch time is the most important thing in YouTube in terms of determining analytics and whether people are going to get your video in their feed or not. That's what's most important. And they got about 600 hours of watch time. Meanwhile, Gangster Ghost got 1,500 hours of freaking watch
Logan,
time.
you are killing it.
Yeah. So this idea that, oh, Proverbs guys is just blowing Gangster Ghost show out of the water is a bunch of crap. And I just wanted to show that for everybody. Because Achilles decided that he was going to be an idiot and show his hand before he knew his opponent's hand.
Oh. So what you were trying to do was win.
I mean, like, it's not even a matter of opinion. It's not even a matter of, oh, well, that's your opinion, bro. No. All right, you're gonna go and trot out these numbers to make yourself look all big and important.
Are you saying that it's an objective fact that 4.6 is lower than 6.7?
I think that is objectively true, yes. I think it's an objective fact that a channel less than 1/10 the size of Proverbs guys in terms of subscribers is absolutely wiping the floor with them in terms of views, in terms of
It just
watch
sounds like
time,
your
in terms of
opinion, though,
subscriber-
man. Like-
Yeah, that's just my opinion that, like that number was significantly lower than this number, like
The watch hours, like that blows me away, actually.
dude, 1,500 hours of watch time.
Logan, are you going to run for president next time?
He was blown away with it when I showed him, and I wanted to show him because I was like, don't let these guys get you down with this crap. Like, don't let them just try to parade that around and try to, like, wave that in front of your hand, like, wave that in front of you, like, oh, this is a reality check, GG. You ain't nothing compared to us. No, he's actually substantially more. You're right.
Wow.
This is what
Well,
makes that guy. This is what makes me think
met
that.
him.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When I first met Logan, like a couple of years ago or whatever it was, he wasn't even doing his own shows. He was just like quietly hanging out on other people's shows. Then every once in a while he would speak up. I would have never dreamed that 2 years later he would have the channel creaming everyone.
Dude, I mean, it's not even close. It's really not. I would invite everyone in this community, if you want to try and look into it, go ahead and show your analytics as well. I'm pretty confident in saying that as far as this particular community is concerned, like, Gigi is the hub at the center of the different spokes of the wheel.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
For
he's
sure.
the middle where everything else emanates from.
I mean,
And
he's
that is-
the place where everybody else meets. You know what I mean?
he's the place that everywhere else meets, and you think that Proverbs guys would take a lesson from this, but the reason why is because he lets everybody speak on here. He lets everybody speak. He lets everybody have their opinion be known. He doesn't shut everything down and insulate everything into this artificial little astroturf environment where they determine everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Logan, we
why
got to start shutting people down going
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. That's right. No, that's why Gigi is popular and you guys aren't. That's why Gigi gets people watching his shows, and you guys
So
don't.
if you had to give them any advice, consolidating it to 2 words, like...
Get good.
Get good, right?
Yeah, get good. Would probably be what I would say within 2 words. I don't know.
That's
It's just their excuses about it are really funny to me because, like, Achilles will be like, "Oh, people's attention spans are not long enough to watch videos. They go over a certain length." It's like, then why are all of Gangster Ghost's long streams getting more views on them than his short stream?
People watch the whole things.
Yeah. Obviously, they watch the whole
I
thing.
know, because I can't tune away.
He's got 1,500 freaking hours of watch. Hold on, let me see how much that averages out to per day.
Look, I flip over to Logan's channel and I'm like, is that flipping Bruce? And I like cancel plans just to watch.
Like, and I'm just gonna assume it's 1,500. I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure it's like 1,534 or something like that. But I'm just gonna assume it's 1,500. Divide that by the 28 days that YouTube measures it.
Divide that by 28 days later.
That's right. Every single day, Gangster Ghost, you get an average of 53.57 hours of watch time. You get 53 and a half hours worth of watch time from people every single day.
That's insane.
That is like if you do a 5-hour stream. Hold on. So if you do a 5-hour stream, then that means that there'd be about 10 people at the very least that watch that all the way through. Probably more. But yeah, like that's just, it goes to show. People don't just click on Gangster Go Show and then click off immediately. People are captivated by what they see here.
And they see Bruce.
Yeah, they do. No, they do. I'll tell you what, dude. I was hunting for him yesterday over on Daniel's show. I was waiting for him to show up, and he never did. Oh, dude, it's the best. It really
I love
is.
it.
It's the best.
See, what happened was someone once told Logan to get good, and then he took that advice.
He did. No, he did take that advice. I was watching the fallout from the whole Logan bullying incident from forever ago, and yeah, like just watching how you dealt with Dustin, that was pretty great. You just like, hey, ever consider that's a shame, Dustin? That's a shameful thing to say. Do you like tried interrupting? And you're like, no, shut up a minute, I'm talking. Oh man,
watching Logan grow into the great streamer that he's destined to be.
It's true, dude. People love your show, Logan. They love you. They love interacting with you. You are a very interesting person. And
you manage something that no one else has managed in this community.
No one in this community, yeah.
Yeah, you got good, man.
Oh, thanks to Brother Pie. Probably
I would probably thank
90% of
Aiden
that's
because he's the one sort of like saying all of this.
That's no.
I mean, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Aiden, is that gang a picture of you?
I mean, obviously, I've been here since Ghost TV Radio episode 1. I mean, come
Isn't that
on.
Nebuchadnezzar or something?
Do you remember Ghost TV Radio episode 1, GG? Do you remember those days?
Yeah, I think the first one I tried doing when I did at work, so I went on Father Charles' show. Then the second one, well, we did it again. That was a crazy one. That's the one where I had Skylar.
Oh yeah,
was helping.
He was like your
And
tech
Steven
guy
was
at the beginning. Yeah, at the beginning of Gigi's channel, Christian, Skylar was Gigi's tech guy.
Oh, really?
And Steven was like one of his original mainstays that would like come on here all the time.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he came on there. Skylar was very angry over missing Mod. He said what she said there was worse than rape.
Yeah.
And Steven said, no, he knows about me. What she said was it worse than rape. He said, and Skylar said, were you ever raped? He said, no.
Were you ever raped?
What an out-of-pocket thing to say.
Yeah, and Steven said back to him, were you?
Oh my God.
He said, yeah.
Do you have to go through murder to know that it's bad?
I guess. I mean, you have to be a 5-star chef in order to tell someone that they undercooked a steak, Christian, didn't you know?
That's
as
a
far
pretty
as I'm
crazy
concerned,
standard right there.
as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as an undercooked steak. There really isn't.
That's how Dad thinks.
Skylar said he was raped by a man.
I'm sorry to hear that. I really am, but
Know
I
what
don't
he
think that like changes the standard.
But the thing is, he also said he had he have ladybugs in him that he could use to control planes.
Oh yeah. His jet fighter, the ladybugs in him that control jet fighters. Yeah.
So, 100% sure
Tim,
what he said was
Tim, thank you so much, Tim. After all of this time, somebody gets the Ghost TV Radio reference.
Is that what it's a reference to?
Yes. It's
What the
absolutely a
heck?
reference to Brett Keene's God TV Radio. I was the one that came up with the name.
I didn't know that. Why aren't you the VP then?
I mean,
I feel like I usurped this
Gigi has
position.
offered me the position of VP before, but
Logan, stop offering people my position.
you just
That was before that.
Yeah, he offered me the VP position. I turned him down. Not
Oh, you were too
because-
humble, right?
I mean,
Or were you
in spite
trying
of-
to get that spot on Proverbs, guys?
Oh well, you know. I mean, like you got to really shoot for the stars, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you land among like the yard.
I mean, like, If they gave me and you a show, Christian, I have a slight suspicion that their view count would go up just a little bit.
If they gave me and you a show,
yeah.
it'd be like, who knows more about Julius Caesar? Episode 1.
I tell you, dude, by episode 324, we're gonna be digging deep. We're gonna be like,
We like wager conversion.
Julius Caesar ate a plum on January 4th of 46 BC, and that's actually symbolic of, I don't know.
If they gave me and you a show, their views would skyrocket.
Yep. That what all came from. It came from that, and it was Aiden's idea. It was crazy. Aiden, yeah.
Well, it wasn't just me. It was me and Mark Stoney were the ones that initially encouraged you to have your own show. We were the two guys that were like, you need to do your own thing because people would love it. And surely,
dang, I was planning to take credit for that. I didn't know you guys remembered that.
But Aiden, was that he said he? I don't know. Do you think he's making that up? Because he also said he have ladybugs in his private part.
I mean, I have a slight suspicion that he's making up the fact that he has nanobots inside of his bloodstream that can control multi-million-dollar jet fighters. Yes, I
you don't think he's being genuine about that?
I think he might be giving. I think he might be telling a fib, Christian. If I'm honest.
I'm talking about the part when he said he was.
I have no idea, honestly. I can't say one way or another.
Yeah, I would hate to assume on that. That could be the reason he thinks there's ladybugs in him.
I mean, hey, yeah. I mean, I don't have a position of authority on that because I wasn't there and I don't know the veracity, and I would never want to deny somebody's claim as far as something that serious without having serious evidence.
Yeah,
so
correct.
It was crazy. That's what he said to Steven. And then after that, Stump came on, Miss Lincoln came on.
I'm gonna start saying stuff.
And then I'm getting talks about Resident Evil a lot.
Oh yes, Stump used to be on your show back in the day too.
I miss Stump. Am I the only one?
I mean,
yeah.
At this point, he's worn out his welcome with me. I think all of the novelty that he used to have kind of like went away.
What's that thing he always says?
Oh, you know, something about a carnal mind. Carnal mind.
And if I sin.
Oh, Aiden, does Skylar look like
if I sin?
10?
So awesome.
Do you think so?
Hold on, Scooby needs to be taken out.
Oh, what do you think? Does Skylar look like Tim?
I mean, they're the same. Like I put people in like categories. Like in my mind, I categorize people by their looks, and they may be in the same category.
Oh, it was crazy.
But Skylar got that wild look in his eye. Like you don't want to be in a post office on a random Wednesday when he walks in.
Well, what if you find out Tim is his long lost brother or cousin?
It would be interesting. I don't think that's the case because Stump is Hispanic.
No, not Stump.
Skylar. Skylar's Jewish though.
Oh,
Tim is like white. Tim's so white you got to have an H before the W. He's white.
He could be his long lost cousin.
Be a pretty distant cousin.
Yeah.
Tim's like.
No, I had Jewish answers. Oh, sorry. Lee Claude. I don't see much of Stump anymore.
I used to go on their Wednesday or their Tuesday and Thursday evening shows to troll them, and then Tim kind of rebuked me for it, and he was right, so I quit doing it. But I actually used to like watching Stump because he's a pretty good teacher.
Oh. Does he talk about the carnal mind?
He does. He talks about the carnal mind, which is, believe it or not, even though we make fun of him because he says it all the time, it's a very interesting subject to explore.
What do you think, Aiden? See? Even Aiden agrees.
Aiden got captivated by the carnal mind.
Yeah. I have no idea. What about this?
Hey, Aiden, if Brianna's laying down the law, don't say anything. Yeah, that's what I thought.
You know what Steve said on the show the other day? He said he thought I could be Aiden's wife's brother.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of that, Aiden? his conspiracy theory. It could be Aiden's wife's brother.
This freaking dog, man, it has like needs and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Aiden?
I just got back. What's up?
Oh, we were all like, "Hey, if Aiden sucks, don't say anything," and you didn't say anything. So.
Oh yeah.
He said he had a conspiracy theory that he thought I could be your fiance's brother.
Well,
oh yeah, he did.
We all know that the only days. Wait, what did he say?
He said, "Look, I'll tell you what he said, and I'll tell you my rebuttal." So, what Achilles said was that he thinks that
it was
Steven. Steven. He said that Logan was Brianna's brother, and he lived with y'all in your spare bedroom.
Did he actually like say that in like seriousness?
It was one of those things where I couldn't tell, but
oh my god,
my rebuttal, my rebuttal was Aiden and Brianna can't afford no house, no spare bedroom.
Hey, screw you. I'm literally doing this broadcast from my spare bedroom. Thank you very much. It's called an office. You ever heard of one?
I was like, they broke. No.
Yeah, you ever heard of that? No, I'll have you know, Gangster Ghost has a very nice hide-a-bed in here.
That's good.
That he uses. So, shut up, Steven.
I told him about Mrs. Maud's theory. She thought I was your brother.
It's one of those things that I couldn't tell. That tells me everything I need to know, Christian. What the hell? They had like this whole thing for a while there then, where they were like coming up with conspiracies about me and my life and who was who and who was what.
Yeah, no, you were pretty interesting topic there for a while. Yeah.
I'm sure that hasn't let up for some reason.
No, I started some of those myself.
You know what I want to do more than anything else in this world? You know what I want to do? I want an agent. Because if they remove me from the group, it doesn't matter. I'll have all the chat logs after they add me. But I want one of the Proverbs guys to just go rogue and invite me into the Proverbs guys group chat on Facebook Messenger. And all that I would need to do at that point is just search the conversation and search for a few keywords. Like I'd look for Mark, I'd look for Christian, I'd look for Dustin would probably be an interesting one as well. Me, obviously. I mean, you have to look for yourself to get added to a group chat. See if people have been talking about you. But yeah, I mean, like that would be a hoot and a half. I would have
I was switching from a different thing.
That's all good. I would have a hoot and a half going through the backlogs of that chat and watching all of the crazy stuff. It's the little guy. It's the little guy. Oh my gosh. Hey, little dude.
Hi, little buddy.
Little dude. He really do be 90% cheeks, don't he?
Yeah, he a lot of cheeks. Say hey. He's like, nah, I'm over it.
He's very annoyed, quite frankly.
Go away from me.
Oh, hey, you're like the pumpkin that my neighbor left on my porch, except it's not rotting because it was left out all the way from Halloween to like mid-December.
Yeah. Well, this is like the eternal pumpkin. It's like it's a thing I believe in.
It's like a pumpkin that like didn't leak disgusting fetid pumpkin juice into my porch because they didn't
pumpkins
have any
as they should
consideration
be.
for me.
You know what I mean?
The truth is, Aiden broadcasts from my basement with an old tube TV and a toaster with an antenna on it. That's what it is when I come on my phone, apparently. Apparently, I sound like I'm broadcasting from a toaster with an antenna.
That's how Josh's phone sounds. Josh sounds
Aiden.
horrible.
Aiden. Oh, I forgot to tell. I told him about the theory about what Miss Maud said. She said I was really your brother.
I wish we were actually biological brothers. I really do. I know that we're brothers in all but actual biology, but I would be honored to have you as my brother.
I have not ruled out the possibility that Logan's black.
Well, I've not ruled out the possibility.
Yeah, you didn't see that coming.
Just blew my freaking mind, Christian.
See that
Thank
coming,
you very much. I never even considered it. I never even considered it this entire time. Is that racist of me? Am I a racist for not considering that? I guess.
No, I think I'm the racist for considering it.
Is Logan like 3/5 of a friend, or is he a whole friend?
No,
you're right. It was
brother Pike. or I could be.
What the?
Hi.
3/5 of
Well, the great.
I loved your thumbnail for Dan's interview. That was great. I didn't watch a moment of that entire thing, basically, but that was good. That was good. I did pop in. I guess I made like one comment on there, and then I popped out.
I have a grandnephew.
Do you have a grandnephew? Nice.
Grandnephew. You old, Logan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Logan's older than you, Christian.
And one grand.
I think he's got me about 2 years. Weren't you born in 88? 87. You got me about 3 years.
You're born in 1990. The Soviet Union
Really?
is older than you, Christian.
I was born
Really?
in 90. This has been public knowledge since 1990.
Oh, if you're born in 90, then I guess it isn't because it fell in.
Well, it didn't come down to what, 88?
It was 91, but I mean whatever.
It was 91?
Yeah, I got my times confused.
Oh yeah, because Bill Clinton took office in like 92 or 93.
Yeah, and then like in '94, Boris Yeltsin was like wandering like in his underwear down Pennsylvania Avenue trying to hail a taxi to get pizza. So there's that. Well, you've never heard about that? I take it you've never heard.
I know about things.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about nothing. Don't know nothing about nothing.
Trump's like, I want to be like
You're gonna be
Reagan.
35
Build
this
this
year.
wall.
What happened to Sandman? Who cares, really, Jens? Oh boy, do you have something against Sandman, Azzo?
Okay, that was funny, even if he doesn't.
Am I detecting some Sandman beef?
I think it was from the other day that they keep on calling Miss Outcast the wrong name.
I see.
And Josh went on there to correct him about it, and then they told him to mind his own business and kicked him
Oh,
off.
really?
Chase him off, I guess.
The heck?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like them.
People are always rude when I'm not around. Then I come back and they're like, why aren't you rude back? I'm like, because I wasn't here when they were rude.
Something like that.
I mean, you definitely
Josh
have
showed me.
Sorry, go ahead.
Clip. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just
That's
going to
all
say
I
there's
guess.
definitely a precedent for Christian being rude to people if they're rude while he's around. I just watched that.
No, yeah,
freaking
I'm
thing with
only
Dustin.
rude when they're rude when I'm around.
Oh, Joseph, the tech guy's back.
Welcome
He was
back,
on the
you
show.
tech guy.
Did he?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
doing a lot
was he
better.
on there like sober or?
Man.
Yeah.
What? What?
All right, Missing Mod.
They
We
even
can't
talked about that last week.
Man, where's Missing Mod been? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen her a
she's been
time or
around.
two. Has she been doing shows?
Yeah, she did a show with that Earl lady on that Earl lady's birthday.
I see.
27.
I see.
It was on her channel. I Kill Earl channel. Why did you kill Earl, Aiden?
I see, said the blind man to his one-legged wife. Hop to it, Peg.
Most people say to his deaf wife. That's funny. You too young to be making jokes like that.
Yes, they're saying, man.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm old over the hills where grandma house we go. Oh, sorry. Aiden,
Christian
are you?
was around when God was a boy.
Yeah, when they gave me a social security number, it was like 1.
Far Charles, I think he's been busy, but he said he was thinking about doing that, coming back for a new show.
Oh crap! It is significantly later in the day than I thought it was. I am gonna have to take my leave, gentlemen.
Oh,
but
thank you.
I'd run too if I were you.
Oh yeah, well thank you for having me, buddy. I had a good time. I took out the trash, and yeah, just let me know if the trash shows up again.
Well, I need to show you
I'll
something.
show up again.
I mean, you're like part of the trash.
Well, Aiden, can I show you something?
You know what, Logan? You absolutely can show me something, buddy.
I wouldn't
'Cause
personally.
you're my favorite little guy. Well, you're my second favorite little guy. Scooby's my favorite little guy.
Oh, okay.
God, he loves dogs more than you. That's cold.
Basil wanted me to show you this.
Yeah, I know you don't feel anything about animals, so you don't feel that way, but
I like to
whatever.
look at them sometimes.
Yeah, I just don't even really feel anything when
And
it comes
touch
to
them on
animals.
occasion.
I don't really just feel anything at all, to be honest with you. Like,
I saw a
kind of
horse one
empty.
time. I liked that horse. I was fond of it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again at some point.
You said Aslo wants me to see this?
Yeah, this is what happened, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
over
it's
20
actually
years
actually
ago.
those that Mary, the mother of God, had. It was her kids.
What?
That's right.
So John the Baptist was.
John the Baptist. No. No. John
That was
the Baptist.
Elizabeth.
Oh, sorry. Of course.
Could you share the timestamp then?
But wasn't he?
And sisters, and they are. I call
Not Vivian. I don't know if you're trying to be cute or
hold the truth
There it is.
on that point.
It's in. I believe it's in. Well, it's in one of the Gospels. Could it be Gospel of Matthew?
And you can call them because they're cousins. They would call each other brothers and sisters, and they are. I call I call you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but that brothers
Calling
one,
good.
that's a good. I thought that's one of the more simpler ones too. That's a multi-used word. Well, because as you said, the original Greek, there wasn't nearly as many alphabet words in the dictionary.
Sure.
So in
because
Matthew
they
28,
Matthew
just to clarify, in Matthew 28, verse 1, it says, "Now after the Sabbath, as the first day of
Can you pause?
Of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the..."
Jens, I have never blocked anyone from my channel, to my knowledge. I don't think I have anyone blocked at all.
He's confusing with his brother Steven Anderson.
Oh, of course, naturally.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just
joking.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've never had anybody blocked, to my knowledge, Jens. I don't know why. What makes you think that?
I mean, he blocked Lupin, but you know.
No, I haven't blocked Lupin. Lupin blocked me. He made it like this big point of pride on his last channel that he doesn't have anyone blocked until I proved that he had me blocked.
Oh, so he lied.
No, not Lupin.
He told an untruth.
It's a good hobby of mine, like exposing these people as liars. It's a good pastime. It's pretty.
What are you,
cool.
Robert Beatty now?
Some people like collect stamps. You know, some people like collect coins.
He's like, I collect suckers.
That's right. I collect ponage, Christian. That's what I collect.
Other.
I know ponage is a bit of an
Mary
old
came
internet
to
word. Maybe you don't know it, Christian. Sorry.
see the tomb.
That's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the Mary you are talking about?
Mary.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes.
Breaker 19, come in. You're coming in loud and clear. This is Airwaves 1919.
It really is that level of audio quality.
Deviant, hi Deviant. I just want to say one quick thing. Can not for you, Deviant, but can you guys please be respectful and refer to her as Deviant, not Vivian? I don't know if you're trying to be cute or funny, but her name is Deviant.
How about you mind your business? How about that? Get off the air. How about that? You want me to call? You want me to call
all right. No worries, Sandman. I'm gonna leave. Bye,
blow,
Deviant.
bro, blow.
Can you pause? What the heck? Yeah, I do have to say, what the heck, Sandman? Like, it's not very in your character at all.
You've been fine with Josh, but
Yeah, but
that's all.
that was no reason to just go like, why don't you just mind your own business? He was just trying to say like, use her name the way that her name was used. Does Azo go in there and like go on the warpath against Sandman?
No, I don't think he was there.
Oh, I see.
He didn't
I see.
know
I thought
about it. It's all
he found out after the fact. I see.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with the idiot. I mean, like, I agree that it wasn't warranted at all. I never see your posts. Oh, I don't post, Jens. I don't have a channel where I put out content. I add to other people's content on their channel. That's kind of always been my modus operandi. Everybody asks me to put content on my channel, but I don't really know where to start, honestly. It's a bit of a daunting thing.
Daunting.
I mean, I should probably just get over myself and do it, quite frankly, as far as like, you know, what I should actually do. But why would I do that when I can just like think about doing it?
Oh. What do you think, Brother Pike? Yeah. See? Even Brother Pike agrees.
See, I'll let people know right now, if I'm going to do a channel, I'm probably not going to really have it connected to this community at all. I'm probably going to talk about things that aren't really of much any interest to people around here. Like, yeah, like Dune, yeah. Yeah, like that's a big one for sure. Yeah, that's what I'd talk about on my channel.
24/7
That's
nonstop.
right. So
you play Dune. Will you ever play a video game of Dune?
they're coming out with one pretty soon here. The Dune Awakening, I think, is what it's called, or something like that. It's like an open world game, so it's either going to be really good or really bad. I don't really see it being one in the middle of those two extremes. Could be your co-host here, Hayton lol. I mean, Achilles, it's funny because the last interaction I had with Achilles was him trying to like talk crap about me in the comments section, and I just retorted with, well, at least I'm consistent with what I say and I don't change what I say amongst different groups of people. And his response, rather than engaging with me in an argument on the merits of what I said, was basically just to call me an ass. So that was pretty funny. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Well, you went off on him and Steven.
I did. No, I did. I got them both to leave because I just told the truth about them and what their game is on their little channel of theirs. Yeah, if they don't want to hear that, they're more than welcome to take their business elsewhere. I'm never going to ask you to kick them off the channel, but what I can do is come on and run them off.
Oh. What about it?
What aboutism indeed, my friend. Well, this is pretty short for your show, but I hope Christian comes back because I think I'm going to head out here. I need to eat my lunch and feed Scooby. And
okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, of course, buddy. No, I always enjoy being here. Thank you for having me on. Have a good and safe day, my friend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Have anyone? Oh. What would happen if Achilles got in a boxing match with Aiden? That'd be a good match. The great Achilles. Or the great King. Oh, what you been doing? Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Ooh, they're clowns. Carrot clown from outer space? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Carrot clown from outer space. Carrot clowns from outer space. Oh, he would knock himself out. Oh no. Oh no. Killer clown from outer space. Killer clown from outer space. Killer clowns from outer space. Killer clown from outer space. Killer clown from outer space. Oh, not killer tomatoes from outer space. Killer tomato clowns. Yeah. Side up. Oh, I need to talk to you. Can you come on here? So that I'm gonna shut the show down. Bye, everybody.